It's going to be a wet afternoon, Bill. We were hoping we'd get by without this rain, but the rain has started to come down, and it looks like, since we can hardly see downtown Los Angeles, that it is going to be here for the remainder of the afternoon.
And we've just had the coin toss. The Cardinals will receive. I don't know whether this rain will be any particular advantage to either team. They both have the wide receivers with speed. They also have the backs with speed. So this is a fairly good field here at Los Angeles Coliseum. It's maintained quite well, so I'm not really sure, unless we have a very heavy rain, we have a mist right now, that the rain will be an important factor, except in terms of handling the football.
The Rams will be kicking off. The Cardinals will receive. Terry Metcalf will play this afternoon. Mel Gray is dressed out. Whether he will play at all is very questionable right now, but he is dressed out for the game here today. Flew in from St. Louis yesterday after being given a clean bill of health by the medical staff of the Cardinals. Tom Dempsey, the kickoff man for the Rams. The Cardinals 7-2. And they have Washington next weekend, and the following Thursday, then the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. So they don't get any easier. But the Redskins have been knocked off today by the Giants by a score of 12-9. The 49ers were in the process of losing their game to Atlanta 21-10, and that was in the fourth quarter and late in the fourth quarter of play. Well, all of these things we keep you up to date on because of the wild card possibilities that affect all the divisions, and especially the Eastern and the Western divisions in the National Football Conference. Gary Hammond and Wayne Morris back to return as Tom Dempsey has it teed at the 35-yard line. He comes into it and hits it high and deep down the middle, sailing down toward Hammond at the 9 to the 10 to the 20 and spun down at the 24-yard line. Coming down on the hit for the Rams, Steve Priest. Safety man. We welcome the folks from KRLD Radio down in Dallas, and of course they're keeping an ear and an eye on this one here this afternoon. The Dallas Cowboys play Buffalo. And tomorrow night's game, this broadcast authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the St. Louis Football Cardinals solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the description or accounts of this game without the written consent of the St. Louis Football Cardinals and KMOX Radio is prohibited. Cardinals out. Wide to the left side is Pat Tilley. To the right is Ike Harris. Back split behind Jim Hart. Kane Town on the left, and Hart's going to throw on first down and fires over and almost picked off. Intended for the fullback, Jim Otis, at about the 30-yard line, and just about picked off. Coming up to knock it down, Bill Simpson, the safety man, and just about picked it off, and that showed signs of the beginning of last year's playoff game, Bill.
Certainly does, because Jim Otis was the man Hart was trying to go to when Jack Youngblood stuck his hand up, picked it off, and ran it in for a touchdown and turned the whole ball game around.
Metcalf comes in replacing Steve Jones, so it's Metcalf and Otis behind Hart. Kane tight on the left side, wide to the left, Tilley wide to the right. Ike Harris, second down and 10 from their own 24-yard line. Backs are split behind Hart. Jim works from the long count. Goes back to throw on first down. Fires up and over the middle, and it is incomplete. Tipped by Isaiah Robertson, the linebacker on the right side, coming across, intended for Terry Metcalf, who came out of the backfield. It becomes now 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals from their own 24-yard line.
Again, Jim Hart trying to hit the quick pass to the running backs out over the middle. And each time the running back has been well covered by these Ram linebackers, and they are good ones. Jim Youngblood in the middle, Jack Reynolds on the right side, Isaiah Robertson.
Cardinals come out with Tilley again, wide to the left side, 3rd and 10 from their 24. Ike Harris comes to the right. Metcalf stays in. Otis is out of there, and Steve Jones back in. They are the running backs behind Jim Hart. A 3rd down and 10 call for the Cardinals from their own 24-yard line. As Hart takes the snap, goes back to throw again. Steps in and fires up and complete. This time it's to Tilley up the 45, the 50, the 49-yard line. Pat Tilley cut down and under as Hart took a shot from Jack Youngblood, the defensive left end for Rams, just as he delivered the ball. But Tilley made a fine reception up around the 45 and got it right to the midfield mark before he was finally brought down. And that's a first down, and the Cardinals well out into good field position from which to work.
The Rams have an excellent secondary led by Muddy Jackson. He has 7 interceptions. The Rams lead the National Football League in interceptions. Jack Youngblood crawling all over Jim Hart, but he found Tilley as he crossed in the middle of that seam of the Ram secondary.
These are two very active defensive ends, Youngblood and Fred Dreyer. First down midfield, wide to the left, Tilley, wide to the right side, Ike Harris. Otis back in the run with Steve Jones. Metcalf is out, back in motion to the right side comes Tilley. Off on the slant over the right tackle comes Jim Otis, gets a couple of 3 tough yards to around the 47-yard line before he is finally knocked down. Merlin Olsen, the defensive left tackle there, Jack Reynolds, and Jim Youngblood, the defensive left linebacker, make the stop. They mark it just barely inside the 47-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams, a gain of about 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Cardinals with Banks at center. The guards are Conrad Dobler and Bob Young. The tackles on the right side is Dan Deerdorf, the left side Roger Finney, and the tight end J.B. Kane. He sets tight on the right. They go into a slot left. Backs offset strong left behind Hart. Second down and 7 at the 47. They give on the slant over the right side. Off to Otis inside the 45, down to the 43-yard line before he is finally stopped by Isaiah Robertson, the right linebacker. Coming over from the right side to his defensive left to knock down Jim Otis. In on the play of about 3 or 4 more yards. They'll mark it at the 42-yard line, just shy of it. It'll be third down, just a bit better than 2 to go. Cardinals at the Ram 42-yard line. Wide to the left side is Pat Tilley. Coming out wide right is Ike Harris. Kane is tight on the left side. Back split. Metcalf is in to run with Steve Jones. Hart on the long count. Third down and 2 yards to go at the Ram 42, and Hart is back to throw. Steps inside, fires over the middle. It is complete to Metcalf. Hit at the 40 and down at the 40. And let's see where they give him his reception. Inside the 40 at about the 39, and that should be first down yardage. He was hit and knocked back of the 40-yard line. But they, I believe, will give them the first down, Bill. Metcalf took it at about the 39-yard line where they'll mark it down, but was hit and knocked back beyond the 40. That'll give them the first down just by a couple of feet.
Now, what the Rams are complaining about is that Metcalf tried to get around the defender and therefore stepped back inside first down territory, but that's not the way the ball is going to be marked.
Cardinals come out slot left this time. Otis back in the run with Metcalf. They're set strong left behind Hart. Back in motion out of the slot to the right side comes Ike Harris. They give off to Otis in the slant up the middle. Hits to about the 35 and is down right at the 35-yard line. Otis coming over his own right tackle. Hit there by Fred Dyer, the defensive right end. Isaiah Robertson and Jack Reynolds all on the stop for the Rams. It's at the Ram 35-yard line. A gain of about 4. They'll call it second down and 6.
Key matchup along that line, Merlin Olsen against Conrad Dobler. They had some very unpleasant exchanges at the Pro Bowl last year. Merlin doesn't care for much for number 66.
Cardinals come out with Ike Harris wide to the right side. To the left side is Pat Tilley. Otis and Metcalf offset strong right behind Hart. Kane is tied to the left side. Second down and 6. Back to throw. Hart quick out to the right side. Off the fingertips of Ike Harris. Coming up to defend on the play was Rod Perry, the left cornerback. The ball thrown a bit behind Ike Harris at about the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and 6 now. And Steve Jones comes back into the backfield, replacing Jim Otis for the Cardinals. They're at the Ram 35-yard line, just inches shy of the 35. Atlanta has knocked off San Francisco. San Francisco beaten by Atlanta today. 21-16 was the final. Cardinals out, key third down play, third and 6 at the 35. Tilley wide to the left side, Harris wide right. Backs offset strong right. Hart back to throw on the third down call. Has the time. Fires up and over to the right side, intended for Ike Harris. He has it, and it is broken up at the 5-yard line. He had it for a moment, was hit, it was bobbled into the air and into the end zone, incomplete.
That was a super play by the Rams secondary. As Ike turned around, there's a penalty marker on the field. It's against the Rams. That's going to give the Cardinals an automatic first down. Defensive holding against the Rams after the secondary had made a super play on Ike Harris coming down the right side.
It was a penalty against Fred Dyer. He took a late hit at Jim Hart. Roughing the passer call, moves it down to the 20-yard line. First down for the Cardinals. Dyer came in and took a shot at Hart. Roughing the passer is the call, and it's Fred Dyer, the defensive right end, who was called on it. So the Cardinals have the first down at the Ram 20-yard line. And it was a fairly obvious call because Hart had the time to throw, got rid of the ball in plenty of time, and then Dyer drilled him. Cardinals come out first down at the 20 of the Rams. Slot left, Ike Harris in the slot. Wide to the left side is Pat Tilley. Otis in, running with Metcalf. They split now behind Hart. J.D. Kane, the tight end, is set on the right. Out of the long count, first down at the 20, gives on the sweep to the right side of Metcalf. Turns the corner at the 20, a flag is down to the 15, down to the 10, out of bounds, but a flag is thrown. A flag is thrown, and a holding call is going to be made against the Cardinals. It'll cost them. And I can bet you who it's going to be against. We'll listen. But Conrad Dobler has gotten an awful lot of ink out here. This is home country for him as far as that goes. But his reputation has preceded him, and we'll see if the holding call is not against number 66. That'll bring it here. So it moves it back to the 30-yard line. First and 20 for the Cardinals at the Ram 30.
Well, Conrad's publicity has hurt him in recent weeks because the officials are admittedly watching Conrad a lot closer, and a lot of the things that he got away earlier in the season with, he's not going to get away with now.
Cardinals come out in a double tight end set with Harris tight on the right side, Kane tight on the left side. Wide to the left is Tilley. At the 30 of the Rams, first and 20. Steve Jones in the run along with Metcalf. Back to throw his Hart, sets and looks and fires up to the right side. It is caught by Metcalf at the 11-yard line and out of bounds. Thrown out of bounds by the linebacker coming over Jim Youngblood, the left side man. They got it down to the 16-yard line. That'll leave the Cardinals now with a second down and about 5 yards to go. They'll mark it just shy of the 15. A little bit better than 5 to go, but right at 5 yards to go on a second down play. Good catch by Metcalf. He went up and got it right on the sideline, and Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, threw him out of bounds.
I tell you, Bob, those Rams are really coming hard on that pass rush. But what they're doing is setting themselves up for a draw or a screen if they continue to come in the fashion they're doing right now.
Got a tough front four, very active defensive ends, very agile people. Cardinals out with Tilley wide to the left side. Back in motion to the left goes Ike Harris, who's wide to the right. Now the give goes off to Metcalf, wants to turn the corner, is going to be hit and dropped by Jack Youngblood, the defensive left end, back at the 23-yard line. Youngblood slipping off the block. Drops him back at about the 22 or 23, where they'll mark it down at the 23. It'll be a loss of almost 8 yards on the play and bring up now a third down and about 13. Hart is now 3 out of 6 for 44 yards in this opening drive. They started it after taking the opening kickoff back at their 24-yard line. They're now at the Ram 23. A penalty has hurt them. Now a loss on that play. And it's third down and 13 at the 23 of the Rams. Wide to the left side, Pat Tilley. Ike Harris goes wide to the right side. I formation now. Metcalf the tailback with Jones in there. Behind Jim Hart, Kane is tied on the left side. Hart back to throw. He sets and looks and looks and looks and looks, and he fires up over the intended receiver, Ike Harris, coming across at the 10-yard line. And a lot of time. Metcalf was wide open as a swingman on the left side. Bill, but he did not go to him, and the Cardinals are going to have to settle for a field goal try as Jim Bakken comes off the bench.
That time, Jack Youngblood was lined up in a very strange formation. He was about 5 yards outside the right tackle, Dan Deerdorf, trying to get that outside rush, but Steve Jones came over and gave some help and gave Jim Hart a lot of time to throw.
It's going to come from the 31. The 41-yard try. Snap is back. The ball down. The kick is up, and it is good from 41 yards away, and the Cardinals break on top. We have 9 minutes and 59 seconds to play in this first quarter, and there's an official timeout with the score. The Cardinals 3 and the Rams nothing.
Stuller and Vera for Jack in the Box Restaurant.
Presenting the mystic powers of beloved Bellini. The blindfold is in place. Can you see anything, Bellini?
I can only see the blindfold, Wanda.
I have a lady in the audience. She is left holding something.
She is holding a bag.
Bravo, Bellini. Where does the bag come from?
The bag.
Stop clowning, Bellini.
She has a clown in the bag.
Almost.
A clown in the bags.
Almost.
Jack in the box. She has a Jack in the box in the bag, right?
Yes.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. And in the bag?
You're fishing, Bellini.
Fishing. She has a Moby Jack in the box.
Correct. Also a dessert.
A dessert. She has a dessert.
Think of a new leaf,
A
Bellini.
new leaf. Turn over. A new leaf.
Yes.
Apple leaf.
What?
She has an apple leaf.
No.
She has an apple turnover.
That's it.
Apple turnover in the Jack in the Box bag.
The beloved Bellini has done it again, ladies and gentlemen.
Bellini must rest now.
You need more than a rest, you know that, Bellini?
Cardinals set to kick off. Bakken teeing at the 35. Back deep to return for the Rams. Colin Bryant and Tom Jarradine. Jarradine is out of Northeast Missouri State, a 3-year man. He's a wide receiver, kick returner, 6'2", 189. And Colin Bryant. They are the deep return men. Here's Bakken's boot, sailing it down toward Jarradine. He steps up to the 10, takes it there. Back to the 15, to the 20, comes to the left at the 25, hit at the 29, down to about the 30-yard line. Coming down, Steve Okanowski to make the top for the Cardinals. Also coming down on the play was Mike McDonald, reserve linebacker. So the Rams take over on their own 30-yard line, their first possession, as the Cardinals took the opening kickoff and marched it down for a field goal of 41 yards by Jim Bakken to lead 3-0. 9:50 to play, first quarter, wide to the left side. For the Rams comes Ron Jesse. Jackson wide to the right side. The backs are Capoletti, along with Lawrence McCutcheon. They give off the counter, coming to the left side. McCutcheon inside the 33, out to around the 34, and perhaps near the 35-yard line before he's stopped by Mike Dawson and diving underneath. Tim Kearney, the middle linebacker, along with John Zook, the defensive right end. It's a gain of about 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5 for the Rams, just shy of their own 35-yard line.
Pat Hayden starting this afternoon, 18 of 33 for 304 yards. He's throwing at a 54.6% completion rate, 4 touchdowns.
Hayden brings him out. Jackson again, wide to the right side. Jesse wide to the left side. Backs off, sets strong right behind Pat Hayden. The tight end sets on the left side. Second down and 5. Hayden gives on the delay, fakes the delay draw, rolls out the throw, fires up to the right side, complete up at the 50-yard line to Al Jackson. He took it right in front of Norm Thompson just shy of the midfield marker. That's enough for the first down. And a gain of close to 15 yards on the play, just barely into Ram territory near the midfield mark.
You'll find Pat Hayden throwing from the roll because he's not that big, 6 feet or less. That time he wrote it in to Lawrence McCutcheon to delay the pressure from the front four and threw in front of Thompson. That's what Harris was criticized for not doing, throwing under the coverage against Cincinnati this past Monday.
Wide to the left comes Jackson this time as Jesse goes wide to the right side. Backs off that strong left behind Hayden. The tight end sets on the right. Hayden on the long count, first down at midfield, back to throw, has time. Now he's going to run. Scrambles out to the left side, gets by a man, steps inside, fakes it, goes around the 50 to the 45 and runs out of bounds. Something a cheer from the fans here as they see the scrambling quarterback. The one thing that is in his disfavor, however, is the fact he has done that earlier in the year and he's got banged pretty well and suffered a concussion. But he had some pressure on him that time from slip from the outside, got 3 of that, and then turned it upfield for a gain of about 5 with the Cardinal 45-yard line. It'll be second down and about 5 yards to go as he ran out of bounds at the Cardinal 45.
When you're playing against a scrambler, your defensive ends can't really apply a lot of pressure because they can't afford to have the man go around them. So your pressure will have to come from the tackles, Charlie Davis and Mike Dawson.
Hayden brings him out. He has Jackson wide to the left side. Wide to the right is Ron Jesse. The tight end's on the right. Backs off that strong left. Hayden on second down and 5. Gives on the counter to the right side to McCutcheon. Hit as he gets inside the 45 at about the 44-yard line. Stacked up by Larry Stallings, the left linebacker, along with Ken Reeves, the strong safety, coming up in a hurry. So he got about a yard out of it to perhaps inside the 44 to near the 43. We'll call it third down. And about 3.5 to go, close to 4 yards to go for the first down.
Bob, this afternoon we have 2 quarterbacks taking signals from the sideline as Pat Hayden stepped out to check the Ram offensive coach, and Jim Hart does the same with Jim Hannafin.
Rams come up. Ron Jesse wide to the left side. Jackson goes wide right. Backs off set strong right. Now third down call, about 4 to go at the Cardinal 44 is Hayden. Fakes the draw, goes back to throw again. Fires over to the right side. It is complete to the tight end at the 40-yard line and driven out. They'll mark it at the 40-yard line, the 39. John Capoletti, swinging out of the backfield, was the man who made the catch rather than the tight end. So it's a first down at the Cardinal 39-yard line as the Rams have come back from their own 30, taking the kickoff after the Cardinals got a 41-yard field goal to take the lead. Wide to the right, Harold Jackson. Wide to the left side comes Ron Jesse. The back split now. Capoletti and McCutcheon behind Pat Hayden. Tight end set on the left, back in motion to the right side goes Jesse. The give on the counter to McCutcheon, cuts inside the 40, 35, down to the 33, and down. Picked up about 7 yards. Coming over on the stop, middle linebacker Tim Kearney. For the Cardinals, it'll be at the Cardinal 33-yard line. They'll mark it for a gain of 6, second down, and about 4 yards to go for the Rams at the Cardinal 33.
They're running that counter play that was so successful in the playoff game last year, and you catch your linebackers going the wrong way, and that's the intent of the counter play.
Hayden brings him out with Jesse wide at the left. Quick snap, gives to Capoletti, swings it to the outside, gets by a tackler. Hit now as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and may have fallen for a gain of 1 to about the 32-yard line. He tried to sweep it to the right side, was missed in the backfield, and finally was stopped by Stallings coming over from the left side. Dawson getting out on the play, and they'll mark it down at the 32-yard line. It'll be third down and 3 yards to go for the Rams, just shy of the Cardinal 32-yard line. Wide to the left comes Harold Jackson. Jesse goes wide to the right side. Tight end sets on the right. Backs are split behind Pat Hayden at the Cardinal 32, third down and 3. Hayden gives on a quick pop up the middle of McCutcheon inside the 30, 25, 20, down to the 19-yard line. A ball right up the pipe. Finally hit by Mike Sensabaugh, the free safety for the Cardinals, but it's another first down.
Here's a surprise in the fourth quarter. Seattle out in front of Minnesota by a score of 21-20.
A gain of about 12 yards on the pop just inside the Cardinal 20 for Lawrence McCutcheon. Wide to the left comes Jesse. Wide to the right side, Harold Jackson. Backs offset strong right. The rain is let up, and the umbrellas are down now as Hayden works on the long count. First down at the Cardinal 20-yard line. Back in motion comes Ron Jesse, giving the counter to McCutcheon, cuts back up the middle inside the 20 to about the 16, perhaps the 15-yard line, before he's stopped by Charlie Davis, the defensive left tackle for the Cardinals, along with Mike Dawson, the rookie tackle from the University of Arizona. They'll mark it at the 15. It's a gain of about 4, a little better than 4, second down, and just a shade better than 5 yards to go for the first down. right at the Cardinal 15-yard line. Wide to the right side goes Ron Jesse as the Rams come out of the huddle. Wide to the left side is Harold Jackson. Backs off that strong left behind Pat Hayden. Second down. Motion coming back to the left is Jesse. They give up the middle to McCutcheon. Hit by Charlie Davis right at the 16-yard line and stopped for no gain and possibly a loss. McCutcheon a little slow getting up.
That was a super play by Charlie Davis. They were trying to trap him, but Charlie beat the trap block and met McCutcheon head on and really decked him. As you mentioned, McCutcheon now holding his side as he bends over in the huddle. He was really drilled by Charlie Davis.
Rams come out. Rob Klein, the tight end, sets on the right. Wide to the right side goes Jesse Jackson. Wide to the left side. Back to split behind Hayden. Third down and 5 at the Cardinal 15-yard line. Hayden back to throw. Straight back. Sets and looks and fires over and out. Completes it Cavalletti to 10 to 5 and out of bounds to about the 4-yard line. That's the first down and goal to go for the Rams. They'll mark it somewhere inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. First and goal to go. A gain of 11 yards on the pass play to John Cappelletti.
Again, Hayden throwing from their rollout, not getting a great deal of pressure from the Cardinals as the ends are mindful of his ability to scramble. And that time, Cappelletti delayed, floated out to the right flat, and Hayden put it right on the mark.
They have a double tight end set now as Terry Nelson comes in to team up with Klein as the double tight end set, short yardage situation, goal line, wing on the left side, backs off set strong right, first and goal at the Cardinal 4-yard line. Hayden gives to McCutcheon, counters inside, skips down to the 1 and in for the touchdown. Morris McCutcheon from 4 yards out puts the Rams on top as we get set for the point after try from Tom Dempsey.
Nothing fancy about that. It was a very well-sustained drive, and that time McCutcheon got a great block from his left guard and tackle, and he sifted right through into the end zone, and the Rams are on the board.
'70-yard drive, and the Rams go in to take the lead. We have 3 minutes, 47 seconds to play first quarter. Dempsey to try for number 7. All set for the point after try. The snap back, ball down. The kick by Dempsey is up, and it is good. With 3 minutes and 47 seconds to play in the first quarter. There's an official timeout. The score now, the Rams 7 and the Cardinals 3.
True Value hardware stores want you to think about the color gold the next time you buy a battery. Gold is the color of Ever-Ready alkaline power cell batteries, and that's your sign of top performance. Ever-Ready alkaline power cells use a chemical system different from that of regular batteries. The extra power they provide makes them ideal for portable radios, tape recorders, any device you use frequently or for long periods of time. And maybe even more important, they'll hold their power for months when not in use, even in cold weather. So they're perfect for devices that you use infrequently, like calculators and cameras. True Value hardware stores offer Ever-Ready alkaline power cell batteries in popular C, D, and AA sizes. So for power that you can depend on, get gold color Ever-Ready alkaline power cell batteries from your nearby participating True Value hardware store.
True Value hardware is more than just a name. It's a way of doing business that means True Value.
In that drive, 70 yards for the score. McCutcheon in from 4 yards out. He carried 7 times in the drive for 32 yards. Hayden was 3 for 3 for 31 yards. 12 plays, 70-yard drive, 7-3. The Rams out in front as we get set for the kickoff. Gary Hammond and Wayne Morris back to return. A couple of Dallas folks that the folks down in Dallas are familiar with. Both played at SMU. Dempsey has a tee out at the 35-yard line. 3:47 to go, first quarter. Dempsey angling toward Hammond now. Kicks it high and short. It's going to sail down to Jackie Smith at the 20. Smith back to the 25. Jackie gets it out to the 27. It's going to be horse-collared and dropped. Back at around the 25. His forward progress will get him out to about the 27, 28-yard line. Rob Scribner is the man who dropped him. They'll mark it at the 28-yard line. Cardinals will have Hart coming back in to run the offense. Steve Jones and Jim Otis will be the running backs, at least on this first down from the 28-yard line. Ike Harris comes out wide to the right side. Wide to the left side goes Pat Tilley. Otis and Jones offset strong left behind Hart. Kane is tight on the right side. First down at their own 28. Back in motion to the left comes Ike Harris. The give inside to Steve Jones across the 30, over his own left guard to about the 31-yard line before he's stopped by Fred Dreyer, the defensive right end for the Rams. It's a gain of about 3 yards on the play. It'll be second down and about 7 yards to go for the Cardinals on their own 31 as Metcalf comes in, and Otis will leave the game.
Mel Gray is here. He's dressed. He could play, but Mel suffered a broken nose a couple of weeks back, and they are using him sparingly.
Wide to the right comes Ike Harris now as the Cardinals have a 2nd down and 7 at their own 31. Wide to the left, Pat Tilley. Jones and Metcalf split behind Jim Hart. Defense started the move, got back in time apparently. Back to throw Hart. Fires up and out to the right side, and it is broken up. Good play by Rod Perry on Ike Harris up at about the 40-yard line. And the ball popped into the air. Perry tried to step in front and try for the interception. Broke the pass up. It'll be 3rd down and 7 now from their own 31. Rams drop out the left linebacker, Jim Youngblood, and bring in the extra defensive back, Pat Thomas. He's a rookie out of Texas A&M. Wide to the left goes Pat Tilley. 3rd and 7 for the Cardinals on their own 31. Wide to the right is Ike Harris. Metcalf and Jones split behind Hart. Kane tied to the left side. Hart with the long count as he looks over the front 4, goes back to throw. Steps inside, fires up and out to the right. It is intercepted. Picked off by Perry at the 50, up on his feet, back to the 45. Spins off a man at the 44. Back to the 40, still on his feet, inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. Ron Perry took it on the ground, got up, and returned it back to the Cardinal 36-yard line. Ron Perry took it on the ground, got up, and returned it back to the Cardinal 36-yard line before he was finally brought down. And the Rams have a golden opportunity to get another one. With a 1st down at the Cardinal 36 on a pass interception by Rod Perry. There's a official timeout. And the score now, the Rams 7 and the Cardinals 3.
Here's Tom T. Hall for Chevy Trucks. There are more Chevy trucks around, more than any other kind. And when it comes to driving stuff, those Chevy trucks don't mind. Chevrolet has made it a whole new ball game. Don't miss the action. See the 1977 truck lineup: pickups, heavy-duty, van, and recreational vehicles. At your local Chevy dealer. Stop by at Albrecht Hamlin Chevrolet, 222 Alton Edwardsville Road in Wood River. Barford Chevrolet, 8500 Maryland Avenue in Clayton. Jack Matthews Chevrolet on South Kings Highway here in St. Louis. And Fred Bragg Chevrolet, 3900 Lee May Ferry Road. Your local Chevy dealers, where you can get Chevy's new truck. Over the hills or under the hood, or in my open places. Chevy truck, Chevy truck, built up in the right places.
Rams come out 1st down at the Cardinal 36-yard line. Wide to the left, Harold Jackson. Ron Jesse goes wide to the right side. McCutcheon and Cappelletti. Strong left behind Pat Hayden. Tight end sets on the right. That's Klein. Hayden back to throw on 1st down. Looks deep down the middle. He's going for Ron Jesse. It's broken up by Norm Thompson in the end zone. That coverage by Thompson all the way down there.
That was a super play by Norm Thompson. They were trying to come to Ron Jesse on the deep post. Thompson had the inside-out position and had his hands on the ball but couldn't quite hold on. Now let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is the Cardinals Football Network.
Know the sweetest way to get your licks in? Chapman's ice cream. What's more, you'll get a big kick out of that subtle little difference in the taste. Chapman's ice cream.
KMOX St. Louis, 29 before 4.
Rams come out 2nd and 10 at the Cardinal 36. Wide to the right side. Again, Ron Jesse. Jackson to the left side. Hayden slips out to the left. Gives on an inside pitch to Cappelletti inside the 35, 30, 25, 23. Down to the 22-yard line. Hayden drifting out to the left side and pitched inside as Cappelletti came in front of him, gave him a little shovel pass and cut it off his own left tackle and got it all the way down to the Cardinal 22-yard line. Boy, was finally dropped. Mike Sensabaugh coming up to help out on the stop. They'll mark it at the 22-yard line, and that is a 1st down. Gain of close to 14 yards on the play by Cappelletti. Rams come out in the I formation. Now Cappelletti, the short man, McCutcheon, the tailback. Wide to the left side is Jackson, wide right Jesse. 1st down at the Cardinal 22. Back in motion to the left comes Jesse. Pitch out to the tailback. McCutcheon wants to sweep the right side. Gets inside the 20, inside the 15, out of bounds. At about the 14-yard line, driven out by Mike Sensabaugh. A power sweep to the right side, just a straight pitch to the tailback, sweeping to the right side, and they cut down the defensive left end and the defensive left linebacker of the Cardinals, as well as the cornerman coming up. And McCutcheon got it down to about the 13-yard line. They will miss the 1st down just by inches, Bill, but it'll be a 2nd and just inches to go.
Cardinals played that very well, except the left corner, Norm Thompson, threw a block into the pulling guard out there, and McCutcheon had only a slight hole, but he stepped right through it.
Rams come out 2nd down and about 6 inches to go for the 1st down at the Cardinal 13-yard line. Wide right. Jackson in motion to the right side comes Jesse to give on the counter to McCutcheon inside the 9, inside the 8, and falls to near the 7-yard line. That'll be enough for the first down. A pickup of about 5 yards on the play. And the stop made by Tim Kearney, the middle linebacker for the Cardinals, but it'll be at the 8-yard line of the Cardinals. It'll be first and goal to go for Los Angeles. Time running out here in the first quarter, a minute 35 and counting down, 7-3, Rams out in front. And now with a chance to go on top by more. Ron Jesse wide to the right side, Jackson wide to the left side. Back split behind Pat Hayden. Klein tight on the right. Hayden on the long count, goes straight back to throw. Sets, being rushed, fires it in the middle, and it is broken up and received or intercepted. Let's see. Back was Kearney in the middle. What did they call it? An interception? It is Tim Kearney who intercepts. He was battling Klein for the ball, and I thought for a moment Klein might have taken it away from him. It's an interception in the end zone, and the Cardinals get it on their own 20-yard line, and a good play by Tim Kearney.
The reason I waited too, Bob, is because the rule says if there's simultaneous reception by the defender and the receiver, the ball goes to the receiver, much the same as it is in baseball. But that time, Kearney actually had the ball, and Klein was trying to take it away. Good move by Kearney, who dropped deep in the end zone. As the big tight ends tried to curl in right across the middle, Kearney was right on the spot and took it away.
So the Cardinals got a break and take on their own 20-yard line after the pass interception. So they exchange interceptions with a minute 14 to play. Here in the first quarter, the Rams on top 7-3, as the Cardinals get set to put it in play down at their own 20. Now a little bit of sun is starting to peek through here at the Coliseum, and that is good news. I thought we were going to be in for a torrential rainstorm the way things look, but it has cleared out to the west of us from where the rain comes, and you can see into downtown Los Angeles now from the Coliseum, and that improves the conditions considerably. They had a college game out here yesterday afternoon. USC and Washington played on the field, but it appears to be in pretty good condition for this afternoon's game. And the one thing the Cardinals did not want was a terribly moist turf on which to play, nor did the Rams as far as that goes. Cardinals come out. Jim Hart at quarterback. Jones and Otis, the running backs. Offset strong left. Wide to the right comes Icaris. To the left is Pat Tilley. From their own 20, first down call. Kane is tight on the right side. Back in motion to the left starts Icaris. The give goes on the slant to the left side to Jim Otis. Barrels out to about the 24-yard line, slanting over his own left tackle before he is finally stopped. The defensive right end, Fred Dreyer, made the stop on him. It'll be second down and 6 at their own 24-yard line. Metcalf now comes into the ball game, and he'll replace Jim Otis and run along with Steve Jones behind Jim Hart. This game was sold out here in Los Angeles, but they got a mess of no-shows. Wide to the right side comes Ike Harris. Wide to the left side is Pat Tilley. Hart with Kane tight on the right, calls Harris back in motion. I formation behind Hart. Pitch off to Metcalf. Wants to sweep the right side. Hit behind the line. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage perhaps, but Jack Youngblood, the defensive left end, got him and stopped him for no gain and perhaps a half-yard loss. They'll mark it just outside the 23, so now it's going to be third down. Now they mark it at the 23. It'll be third down and 7 as Metcalf lost a yard.
Now Pat Thomas, the fifth defensive back, comes in, and they drop out Youngblood, the linebacker. And Youngblood, the defensive end, has been playing way outside the shoulder of Dan Deerdorf, so perhaps the backs are going to have to start wide and cut back in to keep away from Youngblood.
Pat Tilley goes out wide to the left side, third and 7. First quarter comes to an end before they get the playoff. That's the end of the first quarter here in Los Angeles. The score, the Rams 7 and the Cardinals 3.
Stiller and Vera for Jack in the Box Restaurants.
The minute she walked into my office, I knew she was all class. She had legs that went from here to there and back again.
Forgive me if I don't sit down. You see, I have legs that go from here to there and back again.
What's the trouble, sweetheart?
My husband leaves the house every night at 3 a.m. I want to find out where he goes. Here, look at the telltale smudge on his shirt.
The last person I wanted to find was her husband. But I looked at the shirt, and it wasn't hard to figure out. Your husband goes to a Jack-in-the-Box restaurant.
How'd you figure that?
That secret sauce on his shirt. And that can only come from one place, Jack-in-the-Box. Your husband's sneaking out every night for a Jack-in-the-Box hamburger.
You're a fast worker, Nick. What can I do to repay you?
Take your husband to a Jack-in-the-Box and have an onion ring for me.
So long, Nick.
She walked out of my life and back to her husband, whose taste in food was just as good as his taste in women.
Cardinals with a third down and 7 on their own 23 as we go into the second quarter of play here in Los Angeles. 7-3, Rams out in front. So far, Hart has thrown the ball 9 times. He's completed 3 for 44 yards. Has been intercepted 1 time. Hayden has also been intercepted 1 time. And the interception killed off a touchdown as far as the Rams were concerned. A key interception, too. That's why the Cardinals have the ball right now at their own 23 with a 3rd down and 7. Rams stay in that nickel defense of theirs with the extra defensive back end, Pat Thomas. Pat Kelly comes out wide to the left side. Ike Harris wide to the right side. Metcalf and Jones, the running backs. J.B. Kane is down on the left. 3rd and 7 from their own 23 as Hart looks over the defensive front. They jam the 2 tackles up on the shoulders of the guards. Back to throw as Hart has a little time now, moves out to the right side, is going to run it. 20, 25, out to the 30, 34, out and out of bounds. They say at the 33-yard line as Hart scrambled out of there, getting away from the rush of Larry Brooks, the defensive right tackle, who got in there. But he turned it upfield for a 1st down, out to the 33-yard line, just barely beyond the 32, really. But it's enough for the 1st down. And you don't see it happen very often. But Jim found the room to the right side as they fell off on the coverage bill and gave him the chance to get outside and move up for the 1st down.
Jim Hart was roundly criticized for not running in the game against Dallas, which the Cardinals won. And that was an identical situation there, and Jim took advantage of it.
They convert the 3rd down opportunity. 1st down at their own 32. Wide to the left is Pat Kelly. Ike Harris wide right. Metcalf and Jones running offset strong right behind Hart. They give to Jones, slants over the right side, runs into a host of folks at about the 35, one of whom is the defensive left end, Jack Youngblood, and they drop him after a gain of a couple to the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 yards to go, right on the 35. Ben Dreith is the referee. Art Demas is the umpire. Frank Glover is the head linesman. The line judge is Jack Johnson. The back judge is Stan Jabby, and the field judge is Dick Ferguson. 2nd down and 8 for the Cardinals on their own 35, trailing by 4, 7-3. 2nd quarter just into it, 14:20 to go in the 1st half. Slot left as Harris comes wide to the left side. Tilley goes into the slot. Backs are offset strong left, back out of the slot in motion to the right side goes Pat Tilley. Hart fakes the give inside, looking over the middle, complete to Harris at the 45 and down at the 46-yard line. Coming up on the hit was Bill Simpson, the safety man on Ike Harris. It's at the Cardinal 46, and that's a 1st down.
Brad Oates, the rookie out of Brigham Young, was in for just a play to replace Roger Finney, and now Henry Allison is in to replace Roger Finney. Roger got up a bit slowly about 2 plays back, and now Henry Allison is in at left tackle.
Gain of about 11 yards on the play. Ball out near the 46-yard line. Slot right formation for the Cardinals. In the slot is Harris, wide to the right, Tilley. Metcalf shifts over to the right side now as Otis is in to run with him. The give goes to Otis on the slant to the right, hit behind the line, and dropped by the left linebacker, Jim Youngblood, for a loss of about 3 to around the 43-yard line. And a Ram player is down. One of the Rams shaken up on the play, and we can't see a number right now. They're shooting off that left side, and they're having a tough time running that particular side, the defensive left side. Bill, with the play of Jack Youngblood and Jim Youngblood as the left linebacker, and they've had trouble getting outside with Metcalf, and on the slant that time with Otis. Still, not much luck at all.
Well, that time, Bob, the Cardinals, the Rams guessed right. Let's put it that way. Because right before the snap, they had moved the linebacker up on the line, and the Cardinals actually ran into the strength of that Rams defense and allowing the extra man to shoot through and drop Otis in the backfield. But running against these Rams is no easy chore. Jack Youngblood, the left end, at left tackle, the veteran Merlin Olsen, the right tackle, number 90, Larry Brooks, and the right end, number 89, Fred Dreyer, can put an awful lot of pressure not only on the passer but on the runner along the line of scrimmage. That was Jack Youngblood who was down. He is being escorted off the field now. Youngblood, without question, recognized as one of the premier pass rushers. He's being replaced by Cody Jones, and let's see, is he going to play end? I suppose he will.
Cody Jones out of San Jose State, 3-year man. Pat Thomas comes in replacing Jim Youngblood now as they go into the nickel defense, bringing in the extra defensive back. 2nd down and about 13 yards to go for the Cardinals on their own 43-yard line. Hart has Tilley and Ike Harris as his wide receivers. Roger Finney is back into the ballgame now, playing as the offensive left tackle. So we're set to resume. 13-18 to go in the 1st half. 7-3 Rams. Cardinals with a 2nd down and 13 on their own 42 come out. They go with a slot left formation as Ike Harris goes into the slot, and wide to the left is Pat Tilley. Metcalf running with Steve Jones. They shift over strong left behind Jim Hart. J.B. Kane tight on the right side. As Hart looks over the front, Defense move. Flag goes down. Hart swings it out to the left side. Intended for Jones. He is hit immediately. Linebacker Jack Reynolds drilled him as the ball sailed over his head, but the Rams may have been offside as they appeared to move ahead of the snap. It is going to be offside against the Rams. That'll give the Cardinals a 3-5, move it up to around the 48-yard line, and leave them with a second down and about 8 yards to go.
As you mentioned before, even if that pass had been completed, Reynolds was all over Steve Jones. Merlin Olsen was the man offside. The Rams are putting a great deal of pressure on Jim Hart here. They, interestingly enough, did not sack Kenny Anderson last Monday one time, but they're playing with a great deal more intensity this afternoon against the Cardinals.
Still working on Jack Youngblood down on the sideline. Back to split, second down and 8 at their own 48-yard line, slot left formation. Kane is tight on the right side. Hard on the long count. Takes the snap, goes back, gives on the draw up the middle. Otis at the 50, inside the 50, down to the 47-yard line. He'll miss the first down by a couple of yards. Isaiah Robertson, the defensive right linebacker for the Rams, made the stop on Otis as they ran the draw right up the middle. It'll leave the Cardinals with a third down and about 2.5 yards to go for the first down. The ball resting just shy of the 46-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. They'll make it right on the 47. Some of the hash marks are obliterated here early in the ball game. Wide to the left side comes Pat Tilley. Wide to the right, Ike Harris. Third down and about 2.5 to go at the Ram 47. Backs off, set strong right. Hard back to throw. And he sets and has time and fires up and off to the right side. Intended for Ike Harris. Overthrown at the 15-yard line. And the Cardinals will have to kick it out of there. On a third and short, they decided to go long. And the coverage was good all the way down the side as Hart unloaded long over the hands of Ike Harris. And for the first time this afternoon, we'll have a punt. Terry Joyce in to do the kicking. For the Cardinals, they'll have Cullen Bryant. As a single safety man, the Rams will put 10 across the front. Terry Joyce standing back at his 38-yard line to take the snap. He'll get it away from around the Cardinal 42. Tom Brahaney in to make the snap. Cullen Bryant waits back around his 10-yard line. Terry Joyce handles the good snap, steps into it, gets it away, hangs it up high and in the middle. Cullen Bryant is going to let it go, and the Cardinals are going to try to get to it. They can't get to it before it goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Rams will get it on their own 20-yard line, and there's an official timeout with the score. The Rams 7 and the Cardinals 3.
Oh, you've all right to sing your own song. No one else can tell you if it's right or wrong.
Some mornings he's out at 4 a.m. hauling hay to hungry deer. Another day he carried in a hawk with a broken wing. He stocks trout streams and patrols 1,000 acres of wilderness. This is Jim Logan's life. He's a conservation agent. Jim could have had a job in the city, more money, but he's living his life his own way, the way he believes. People living their own life, believing in what they're doing. Just like the people at Anheuser-Busch who believe there's only one way to brew Busch beer, and that's the natural way. Busch is brewed with natural ingredients, natural carbonation, natural aging to deliver a light, smooth taste.
So you've all right to sing your own song.
Busch, when you believe in what you're doing.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Cardinal defense on the field, Rams with the ball on their own 20-yard line, and the Cardinal defense is going to have to take it away from them again. It is 7-3. Rams out in front. Cardinals scored on a 41-yard field goal by Jim Bakken, and the Rams came right back and took the kickoff and went 70 yards on a 4-yard run by Lawrence McCutcheon and the point after by Tom Dempsey, making it a 7-3 ball game. Bob Bell, Charlie Davis, Mike Dawson, and John Zook, the defensive front four for the Cardinals. Rams come out. Wide to the right side is Harold Jackson. Wide to the left, Jesse. Capoletti and McCutcheon. Strong right behind Hayden. Klein is the tight end on the left side. To give them McCutcheon, cuts over to the left side, hit it about the 22 as he countered over his own left guard and got virtually nothing. A couple of yards on it, but no more than that. Charlie Davis and Mike Dawson, the defensive tackles, combining to slow it down and stop it after a gain of 2. Second down, and 8 yards to go for the Rams on their own 22-yard line.
These Rams under Chuck Knox have been extremely difficult to beat. Knox is 22-3 and 24-4 if you count the postseason playoff games here.
Wide to the left side is Ron Jesse. Jackson wide right. Back split behind Hayden. Second down and 8 from his own 22-yard line. Takes the snap, fakes the pass, gives on the sweep to the right side to Capoletti. Slips, cuts inside at the 24. Spun down at the 25-yard line. He made the cut, and they had what appeared to be some long yardage ahead of them, but he made a slip as he made the cut and then fell into the arms of John Zook, the defensive right end. with help out of the secondary to cut him down at the 25 after a gain of a couple more yards, close to 3. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go for the Rams on their own 25.
Looks like the single wing out there, some of the plays that Pat Hayden is pulling off.
It's been a long time since I've seen that inside pitch out of a T formation set. You see Dallas do it many times out of their shotgun formation. Third down and 5 at the 25. Hayden on a quick out to the right side. It is over the head of Ron Jesse. And then it'll force Rams into a punting situation. He was going to go to Jesse Thompson coming up on the play, but it was delivered out of bounds, and now the Rams.
The game continues at the beginning of side 2.
In playoff games here.
Wide to the left side is Ron Jesse. Jackson wide right. Back split behind Hayden. Second down and 8 from his own 22-yard line. Takes the snap, fakes the pass, gives on the sweep to the right side to Cappelletti. Slips, cuts inside at the 24. Spun down at the 25-yard line. He made the cut, and they had what appeared to be some long yardage ahead of them, but he made a slip as he made the cut and then fell into the arms of John Zook, the defensive right end, with help out of the secondary to cut him down at the 25 after a gain of a couple more yards, close to 3. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go for the Rams on their own 25.
Looks like the single wing out there, some of the plays that Pat Hayden is pulling off.
It's been a long time since I've seen that inside pitch out of a T formation set. You see Dallas do it many times out of their shotgun formation. Third down and 5 at the 25. Hayden on a quick out to the right side. It is over the head of Ron Jesse. And then it'll force the Rams into a punting situation. He was going to go to Jesse Thompson coming up on the play, but it was delivered out of bounds, and now the Rams will have to punt for the first time here this afternoon. Rusty Jackson comes in to do that, the rookie out of Louisiana State, a 6'2", 190-pounder. The Cardinals will have Terry Metcalf back in single safety. They will line 10 up across the front. Rusty Jackson stands back at his 10-yard line to take the snap. And Metcalf waits around his own 35 to receive the punt. Rusty Jackson steps into it, hangs out a low line drive that can be returned. Coming up is Metcalf at the 40, 45, cuts inside the 50, down to the Ram 48-yard line before he is finally stopped. Down on the stop was Jeff Reese, reserve center, a rookie out of Washington State. And the Cardinals have it in good shape, good field position at the Ram 48-yard line with 10 minutes, 32 seconds to play in this first half. There's an official timeout in the score, the Rams 7 and the Cardinals 3.
What comes to mind when you hear Total Electric Comfort Systems? Probably Lennox. Dave Lennox and his Total Electric Systems are bringing beautiful weather indoors, no matter what the weather is outdoors. Remember, Union Electric says, consider electric heat. Why not convert to a clean and modern Lennox electric furnace now? For this winter and many years to come, enjoy the Total Electric Comfort System by Lennox and make your indoor weather great, no matter what it's like outdoors. In the Alton area, call Barrett Sheet Metal. In Webster Groves, call Crestwood Heating and Cooling. In South County, call Weiss Comfort Systems. In the Overland area, call Gross Air Manufacturing Company. And in the city, call National Heating and Air Conditioning. Look in the yellow pages under Lennox Heating.
Cardinals come out after the 35-yard punt and about 12-yard return by Terry Metcalf. They're at the Ram 48. Slot on the left side. Wide to the left is Pat Tilley. They give on the counter to the right side to Metcalf. Has an opening, and a flag goes down at the 45-yard line as Metcalf got about 3, but a flag is down. It may be costly to the Cardinals again. It is a holding call against the Cardinals. It'll cost them and move it back into their territory. Metcalf had picked up about 3 to the 45-yard line.
The consensus is that Art McNally, the supervisor of referees or officials in the National Football League, has put the word out to cut down on the holding.
Call this time was on Dan Deerdorf as he was pulling out. It'll be 1st and 20 back at their own 42-yard line for the Cardinals. 10 minutes, 27 seconds to play. First half, trailing 7-3. They scored first, and the Rams came back and went in for the touchdown. Wide to the left side comes Jackie Smith. Wide to the right is Pat Tilley. J.B. Kane is tight on the right side. Hyde with the back split behind him. Metcalf and Jones on his own 42, 1st and 20, back to throw. Looking, firing up and out to the right. It is complete to Pat Tilley at the 45-yard line, and down he goes. Pat Tilley hit immediately. As he made the catch, he was bobbled for a moment But Dave Elmendorf finally dropped him right at the Ram 45-yard line. Looked for a moment like they might be able to break it up, but Tilley with those sure hands hung on. So it'll be now second down and about 7 yards to go at the Ram 45-yard line. Gain of 13 on the play. Wide to the right comes Pat Tilley. Jackie Smith is in there in place of Ike Harris. Bill, and I'm not sure whether Ike was banged up a little bit or not, but Jackie is the wide man to the left side. Kane is the tight end. Back in motion. To the left comes Pat Tilley. The give inside to Metcalf. Gets only about 2 to around the 43-yard line, and that's as far as he can go, countering over his own right guard. Larry Brooks, the big defensive tackle, along with Fred Dreyer, in on the stop, and the middle linebacker, Jack Reynolds. They'll mark it at the 44-yard line. That's a gain of only about a yard. It'll bring up third down, and 6 yards to go for the Cardinals at the Ram 44-yard line. Here comes Pat Thomas in, and Jim Youngblood comes out of the game. Jack Youngblood, by the way, is back in as the defensive left end for the Rams. He was shaken up on the previous series of downs when the Cardinals had the ball. Back split, slot left formation, hard on third down and 6 at the Ram 44-yard line. Goes back to throw, sets and looks. Rush fires out to the right, complete to Jackie Smith at the 33, and down. That's a first down. Jackie Smith taking it over his shoulder. Brought down by Dave Elmendorf at the Ram 33 or 34-yard line. Let's see if they mark it down as they bring it inside. It's going to be marked. That's the 34, and it's a first down.
That was a super catch by Jackie Smith. As he ran a square out on the left side, Jim put that ball right on his fingers. The defender was inside Jackie. He took it over his shoulders and hauled it in. The Cardinals have a first down.
Cardinals come out. Ike Harris back in now. Smith is out. Harris is wide to the left side. Tilley goes wide right. Otis and Metcalf split behind Jim Hart. Kane is tight on the right side. At the Ram 34, first down. Hart back to throw again. Has to shove away from the center. Pumps once. Fires up and over to the right side. Tilley in the end zone. It is broken up at the back edge of the end zone. It would have been ruled incomplete anyway, as a catch would have been made had Tilley caught it outside the back edge of the end zone. So the Cardinals going for 6 on the first down and first and 10 at the 34. Rod Perry, the defensive back on the corner, on the left corner, covering on Tilley. Had to get back in a hurry. Tilley had him beaten in the end zone, Bill, by 2 or 3 steps. But then at the back edge he got there, and both players would have been out of the back edge of the end zone, I think, had they caught the ball.
You mentioned Tom Banks, one of the quickest centers in pro football, and that time he came back so quick he was almost on top of Jim Hart.
Second and 10 at the Ram 34. Ike Harris to the left side, and wide to the right is Pat Tilley. Jones in to run with Metcalf. Give on the draw to Metcalf. Hit and dropped at the 38-yard line. Didn't even get out of his tracks before he was hit by the middle linebacker, Jack Reynolds, for a loss back to the, well, they'll mark his forward progress at the 36 and a loss of 2. It'll bring up third down and 12 now for the Cardinals. Metcalf was going to try to go on the draw, but the delay did not work as Reynolds jumped right into the breach. The Cardinals come out with Ike Harris again to the left side and Pat Tilley to the right side. Jones and Metcalf split behind Hart. Kane is tight on the right side. JV has not been a target as yet this afternoon. Back to throw as Jim Hart has the time and sets and looks and fires over the middle. Complete to Tilley at the 20. Tilley running laterally at the 18 and down. But that's a first down. Hit by Elmendorf. Along with Pat Thomas, not Pat Thomas, but by Monty Jackson. Then it'll be at the 18-yard line. And that is a first down. And a gain of about 18 on the play.
Those Rams are running all kinds of stunts inside, but that time they were picked up well by the Cardinal offensive line. Pat Tilley came down about 15 yards and came laterally down the line, and Jim put the ball right on the mark.
Metcalf goes out. Otis comes in to run with Steve Jones now as the Cardinals come out at the Ram 18, slot left. Tilley is the wide man. Ike Harris in the slot. Kane tight on the right side. Back in motion out of the slot to the right goes Ike Harris. Hard on the long count. Slips it off to Otis into the middle. Jim is at the 15 to the 14-yard line. And just a broken tackle away from maybe going in. It was Fred Dreyer, the defensive right end, that got him, and Otis is at the 14-yard line for a gain of 4. Second down and 6 coming up for the Cardinals. Now they mark it at the 15, so it'll be a gain of only 3. Second down and 7. Tilley, 3 receptions for 56 yards here in this first half. We have 6 minutes and 20 seconds and counting down. Cardinals trying to go back on top. They trail 7-3. Tilley comes out wide to the left side. Into the left slot is Ike Harris. Kane is tight on the right. Otis and Jones, the running back, strong left. The give on the counter inside to Otis, or to Steve Jones, hit right at the 15-yard line by Fred Dreyer, the defensive, or Jack Youngblood it is, the defensive left end, and dropped right at the 15-yard line for no gain on the play and perhaps a loss of a half yard.
In Chicago, the Bears have their first 1,000-yard man since Gale Sayers. Walter Payton out of Jackson State is over the 1,000-yard mark, 1,001 yards, and Chicago leading Green Bay 24-13 late in the fourth quarter.
Cardinals come out with 3rd down and 7 at the 15 of the Rams. Metcalf back in the run with Steve Jones. Wide right, Pat Tilley. Icaris wide to the left side. Kane is tight on the right. Back split behind Hart. 3rd and 7 at the Ram. 15 aside, goes back to throw. And sets and slips and sets and fires. And it is too low as he was off balance and through at about the 6-yard line in the dirt, intended for J.B. Kane at the 6-yard line. And the Cardinals will have to settle for a field goal try again. Hart slipped as he jammed to throw and stepped inside the rush, Bill, and threw off balance, and the ball was delivered in the dirt.
J.B. Kane also slipped. It's very treacherous in the middle of that field down there because it has been raining, and it's really being chewed up by the players out there.
Bakken will try one from 33 yards out. Snap back, ball down. The kick up, long, high, and it is good. So that tightens it up a bit. We'll call it a 32-yard field goal try as they marked it at the 22-yard line. And the Cardinals move to within 1 now with 5 minutes and 18 seconds to play in this first half. It's now a 7-6 ball game as Bakken has hit a pair of field goals. And the Cardinals trail by only 1.
Pretty good drive, but that Ram front four didn't give up anything as far as rushing is concerned. On an earlier play, Terry Metcalf on a draw play was stopped in his tracks by the middle linebacker, Jack Reynolds, which means that Reynolds probably was coming on the blitz because he never would have been in that spot had he not. So I think later in the ball game we will see Jim Hart go to Terry Metcalf on an apparent draw play, then draw it back and try to hit one of his wide receivers.
Bakken set to kick off from the 35. Back deep, Tom Jarradine, along with Cullen Bryant to return for the Rams with 5 minutes, 18 seconds to play in this first half. A 7-6 game, the Rams out in front by 1. They scored on a 70-yard drive after the Cardinals had taken a 3-0 lead on a 41-yard field goal by Bakken after they had marched down the field from taking the opening kickoff. Two good return men. Bryant is a big man for a return man. He is 6'1", 235 pounds. He's out of Colorado. But he runs him back very well. Here's Bakken's boot. Hits it high and fairly short down toward Jarradine. He comes up to the 15, takes it there. Back to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Hit at the 35, and down at the 35-yard line goes Jarradine. Return of 20 yards on the kickoff. And down on the hit was Carl Gersbach, who made the stop on the Cardinal special team. The ball just shy of the Ram 35-yard line. 7-6 Rams by 1. Rams come out. Pat Hayden, the quarterback. He has Jackson wide to the left side, Jesse wide right, Klein tight to the right side, I formation behind him as Cappelletti and McCutcheon are there. The snap and a pitch off to the tailback. McCutcheon wants the right side on the sweep. Hit at the 35, right at the line of scrimmage, and nowhere to go. They cut him down in good shape. Stalling shut it down from the outside. And Bob Bell, the defensive left end, along with Ken Reeves, the strong safety for the Cardinals, came up to shut him down for no gain right at the 35-yard line. It's good coverage on that sweep, Bill, to cut that thing down because he had some blockers out in front of him, and they prevented them from turning anything. Coming out of the ball game is Rich Saul, the center, and he's replaced by Jeff Reese, rookie center. And Saul, shaken up, walks out limping. Rams come out 2nd and 10 at their 35. Again, Jackson to the left side, Jesse to the right, backs off that strong left. Pat Hayden on the long count, goes back to throw on 2nd and 10. Looking up the left side. Fires up, and it is incomplete, intended for Harold Johnson. He went up in front of Roger Worley and couldn't hang on to the ball as Worley banged him at the moment the ball hit his hands. It goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10, and let's pause 15 seconds now for station identification. This is the Cardinals Football Network.
Carroll House Furniture in Valley Park invites you to come out and see the 75,000 square foot warehouse and showroom loaded with the latest in furniture fashions at prices you can afford. Carroll House Furniture, 38 Marshall Road in Valley Park.
KMOX St. Louis, 1 minute past 4 o'clock.
Rams with a 3rd and 10 at their 35. Cardinals with their nickel defense in now. They bring in a couple of extra defensive backs and a linebacker. And Al Beauchamp, Severson, and Jason Durham, the other defensive players in the secondary. Hayden back to throw now on 3rd and 10. Being rushed a little bit. Now steps in and throws deep up the middle. Jackson is wide open. And a flag goes down. He's going to go for the touchdown. And a flag is down upfield. Let's see what the call is. It'll be a 65-yard touchdown pass or call back. Let's see. A flag back up at the 38-yard line. And it's going to go against the Cardinals. And Jackson covered till he got to about the 20. Suddenly broke out of the coverage, and Hayden hit him with a long pass. The penalty is against the Cardinals, and it's declined, and the Rams are on the board. And a 65-yard pass play from Pat Hayden to Hal Jackson.
Well, apparently somebody blew the coverage because, as Bob mentioned, for most of that pass pattern, Harold Jackson was covered, but at about the 20-yard line, he broke free down the right side, and nobody was within 5 yards of him, and he took it in, the ball right on the mark.
Tom Dempsey in to try for number 14. Holding is Steve Priest. All set for the point after try. The snap back, the ball down. The kick is up, and it is a flag down, however. Let's see. A flag is down. And let's see what the call is here. They're talking it over with the Cardinals. The point after was apparently good. A tripping call is being made against the Rams.
So that's going to be marked off on this kickoff. And the Cardinals that time, after playing very well for most of that defensive series, had a breakdown in the pass coverage because they had the nickel defense in, and there was no way that man was supposed to be wide open.
Well, the penalty is going to go against the Cardinals. They say is running into the kicker. So the penalty will be assessed here against the Cardinals. He'll kick it from the 40-yard line. Back to return, Wayne Morris and Gary Hammond. Cardinals now down 14-6 with 4:28 to play in this first half.
Penalty for running into the kicker 5 yards is being assessed by the ensuing kickoff.
3 plays, 65 yards. And now Jackson got out of the coverage, I'm not quite sure, but all of a sudden he was wide open up and around the 20-yard line. So Dempsey will kick off from the 40. The 5-yard penalty assessed against the Cardinals. Hammond and Wayne Morris back to return for the Cardinals with 4:28 to play in the first half, down 14-6. Jackie Smith, the short man, just behind the wedge, up at about the 12-yard line. He returned the last kickoff after the Rams had scored. As Dempsey hit one high, a chip shot. Dempsey comes into it and hits a line shot, wobbly kick, hits it about the 9, picked up by Hammond at the 2, back to the 5, the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Hammond out to the 24, and down he goes at the 24, and down on the stop again was Rob Scribner for the Rams, stopping Hammond. Return of about 22 yards on the kick by Gary Hammond, and the Cardinals take over on their own 24-yard line, first down, trailing 14-6.
Cardinals are minus their blazing speed, and that Mel Gray has been injured. He could play. He's in uniform, but right now he's not in the ball game.
Cardinals come out, Metcalf and Jones, the running backs behind Jim Hart. Wide to the left side, Tillian to the left slot is Ike Harris. Back split behind Hart. Kane is tight on the right. First down call at the 24. Give to Metcalf. Turns to the right side. 25. Cuts down to the 30-yard line and spun down at the 30. They took the blocking to the outside, and he cut in behind it. Coming up on the stop for the Rams was Bill Simpson to make the stop on Metcalf. And it's a gain of 6 yards for Terry. It'll be second down and 4 for the Cardinals. Cardinals come out. Tilly wide to the left side. Ike Harris wide to the right side. The tight end, J.B. Kane, sets on the left. Second down and 6 from their 30. I formation. Now they shift over strong right behind Hart. Jim works with a long count. Gives on the slant up the middle. It comes off to Otis. He gets only a couple as his feet slipped, taking the handoff. He got to about the 32-yard line. It'll leave the Cardinals with third down and short yardage. Maybe a yard and a half, close to 2. Fred Dreyer, the defensive right end, on the stop for the Rams. It'll be third down and about a yard and a half to go, just beyond their own 32-yard line. Metcalf comes in. Steve Jones goes out. Cardinals come out with split backs behind Jim Hart. Wide to the left side, Tilly into the left side is Ike Harris. Third down, about a yard and a half. Metcalf turns it to the right side, ducks inside, and is not going to get the first down as he is hit and stopped at about the 33 and a half perhaps. He'll be shy of the first down. The stop made by Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker. And the Cardinals will have to punt as Terry Joyce comes in to kick. And they'll run a double safety this time as Jim Bertelson comes in to team up with Cullen Bryant on the punt return. Terry Joyce in to do the kicking. 2 minutes and 40 seconds and counting down here in the first half. 14-6. Rams out in front. Joyce punting for the second time this afternoon. Joyce stands back at about his 18 to take the snap from Tom Brahaney. Needs a good one. Has a good snap. Steps into it. Hangs it out. Good spiral over toward Bertelson. Takes it at his 28 to the 30. Cuts inside at the 35 and hits down. Dwayne Crump got him at about the 35-yard line, perhaps the 34. And that's where the Rams will put it in play on their own 35-yard line.
Well, Pat Hayden was not known for having the tremendous arm. He has a good arm, but on that pass play of 65 yards for the Harold Jackson touchdown, he really uncorked a beauty down the right sideline. A long, booming spiral, and Jackson ran right under it.
Rams come out. Jesse wide right, Jackson wide left. Backs offset strong left. McCutcheon and Capoletti. The give goes to Capoletti, comes into the middle, hits to about the 38-yard line over his own left tackle, and stops there. Charlie Davis hit him first, and then he fell into the arms of John Zook, the defensive right end, along with Mike Dawson. They'll mark it down at the 38-yard line, a gain of 3, second down and 7 for the Rams. We're coming down to the 2-minute warning, and there it is. There's an official timeout now, and the score is the Rams 14 and the Cardinals 6.
Every day, more and more people are moving to Missouri Savings, and that's because we're close. Close enough to know you as a person, to get close to your needs, to help you choose the savings plan that meets them. Close enough to be there when you need financial help or advice. Convenient and close too. With so many offices, we're close to where you live, wherever you live. Missouri Savings expects to be close to you in a lot of ways, because we're more than just a place to save. We're people who want to be close to the people we're helping. If that's what you're looking for, get close to us. Missouri Savings, close by, close to you.
Missouri Savings, we're close. We're close. Close by, close to you.
Rams come out at their own 38, second down, about 7 to go. Wide to the right side, Jesse. Wide to the left side, Jackson. Back split behind Hayden. Klein tight on the right. Hayden on a second down and long, takes the snap, gives inside to McCutcheon. Quick opener over his own left tackle, gets it across the 40, out to about his 42-yard line. Mike Dawson made the stop on him, the defensive right tackle for the Cardinals. They'll mark it around the 42. It'll leave the Rams with a third down. And about 2 yards to go as they mark it at the 43-yard line. Third down and 2 yards to go.
Now they drop out Harold Jackson, bring in the tight end Nelson to give them some extra blocking with a double tight end set.
Norm Thompson out of the game now, and Jason Darren comes in to replace him. Cardinals jamming up for the run. Third down and 2 at the Ram 43. Hayden has him jammed up, double tight end set, gives off to McCutcheon. Hit right at the 43-yard line. He did not make the first down. Knifing underneath appeared to be Charlie Davis, the defensive left tackle for the Cardinals, and he got a piece of him and slowed him down. And then Mike Dawson filled in along with the linebackers, and they stop him at the 43-yard line.
They're going for it, Bob.
And with a minute on minute 3 and counting down, they're going to go on the fourth down call.
This is interesting.
Fourth down and 2 at their own 43-yard line. See if the Cardinals can shut them down. 53 seconds, and now the Cardinals call for a timeout with 53 seconds to play in this first half. The Cardinals use up a timeout, and Larry Stallings wanders to the sideline to talk it over with Chuck Weber, the defensive coordinator, Ray Wilsey, upstairs on the phone.
Now, this is a big gamble. The Rams are up 14-6. This ball is inside their own 50-yard line. It's at their own 43-yard line. They don't make it. They're giving the Cardinals the ball at their own 43, and they have a full yard to go at least before they get this first down. And with 53 seconds on the clock and the Cardinals having all of their timeouts, they certainly are within striking range. So Mr. Knox is giving his armchair quarterbacks quite a bit to talk about in case he doesn't make it.
Well, the Cardinals use up one of those timeouts here to stop the clock at 53 seconds. And a yard and a half to go for the first down for the Rams, the ball resting just barely beyond their own 43-yard line. So the defensive front is back in there. We're set to go as Hayden has been to the sideline to talk it over. Rams come out. They have the double tight end set. They go with a wingman, and that is Ron Jesse, set on the right side. Capoletti and McCutcheon strong left behind Hayden. 4th down, yard and a half to go at their own 43. Hayden looks over the defensive front, jammed up. Hayden on the long count, waits and hopes that somebody will jump offside, and they are not. And the clock is down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And they don't jump offside. They tried to get him to come off and get the free 5 out of it for the first down. They'll take the 5-yard penalty and now punt.
We saw Jim Plunkett do the same thing against the Cardinals. So the Rams never intended to run that play all along. They were trying to get the Cardinals to jump off. And Chuck Weber has worked very hard with this lineman, saying, ignore that staccato count. Stay right where you are until you see that ball move. So now they're going to give the Cardinals a chance to run it back as Terry Metcalf drops back to about the 20-yard line.
Rusty Jackson in the punt. Stands at his own 23-yard line to take the snap. Trying to get off on a dry spot. He finds one. Metcalf stands back at his own 22 to receive the punt if possible. Jackson takes the rush. He's going to run it. Now he kicks to the side and it's blocked. And it's going to be recovered somewhere around the 36, 37-yard line by the Cardinals. He was going to try to run it out of there and go to the left side. And it was blocked by the Cardinals and recovered at the Ram 37-yard line with 46 seconds to play in this first half. And the Cardinals with fine field position from which to work.
Well, the strategy backfired. First of all, they didn't punt and tried to draw the Cardinals offside by faking a 4th and 1 run. And that time the Cardinals got tremendous pressure and were in great position to block it as they eventually did. Now they have the ball back at the 37-yard line.
Cardinals come out. Ike Harris wide right, Tilly wide to the left side. Metcalf and Jones, the running back. Hart back to throw in the quick count. Sets and looks and fires up and out to the left side. Over the head and intercepted. Picked off by the Rams, coming up the right side with it to about the 32-yard line. With the interception, Monty Jackson was over the head of Pat Tilly, and Jackson went up and grabbed it, and the Rams got it back. And the Cardinals foiled on the opportunity to get on the board.
Well, that was a very poor pass by Jim Hart, who was under very heavy pressure, forced him to throw it high. Jackson was standing behind Tilly and picked it off. And fortunately, Pat was able to get back up and pull him down at the 32-yard line.
Hayden comes back in. That is the second interception of the afternoon. Off the arm of Jim Hart, the Cardinals have intercepted Hayden one time. 35 seconds remaining in the first half. First down at their own 32. Wide to the left side. Harold Jackson wide to the right side. Ron Jesse. McCutcheon and Capoletti strong left. Give to Capoletti. Cuts into the middle. Cuts over his own 35 out to about the 37-yard line before he's finally down. And the Rams call for a timeout as he picked up close to Letty. Cuts into the middle. Cuts over his own Stallings, the left linebacker for the Cardinals. They'll mark it at about the 37, a gain of 5, second down and 5, and Hayden calls the timeout to come over and talk it over on the sideline. They used up 4 seconds. 31 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Rams leading 14-6.
Jim Hart's rhythm has been thrown off all afternoon, especially by Jack Youngblood, who is fighting tooth and nail with the Cardinal offensive line. And that time, originally, Jim had the time, but he couldn't find a receiver open. And when he finally threw, Youngblood was hanging on to him. So he threw the ball high, and Jackson, who had the position behind Pat Tilly, picked it off. The Cardinals also have had difficulty going to the swing pass, which they normally use to offset a very hard rush, primarily because the Rams have excellent outside linebackers, and they've been all over Steve Jones and Terry Metcalf whenever they tried to go out into the flat and pick it off. The primary reason this coverage is so tight is the same reason it was tight last week, is that Mel Gray is not in there, so the cornerbacks and the safeties are inching up just a little bit more, knowing that Mel Gray's 9.3 speed is not in there, and they're gambling, and the gamble so far has paid off.
31 seconds remaining in the first half. 14-6 Rams, out with a second down and 5 at their own 37. Jackson goes wide to the left side. Ron Jesse wide to the right side. Bob Klein, the tight end, sets on the right. Backs off that strong left behind Pat Hayden. Takes the snap, goes straight back to throw. Sets in the pocket, rushed by Zook, fires up and out to the right. And it is caught by Ron Jesse at the Cardinals' 46-yard line, and he falls out of bounds with it. That stops the clock with 26 seconds remaining. And they're in Cardinal territory now at the 46-yard line. Jesse came down on what appeared to be a deep pattern and cut it to the outside, forcing Thompson to back up on the play. And Hayden laid it right in his hands as he stretched forward at the 46 and fell out of bounds. Al Beauchamp is in as the left linebacker. Hayden brings him out. Wide to the left goes Harold Jackson. Jesse again. Wide to the right side. Backs off that strong left. Hayden back to throw on a quick snap. sets and looks and fires deep up the left side for Harold Jackson, and it is broken up by Roger Willie in the end zone. Almost picked it off, but broke it up. That stops the clock with 20 seconds to play in the first half and makes it 2nd and 10 for the Rams at the Cardinal 46-yard line.
That's why number 22 is all pro. There are precious few, I would say no more than 5 cornerbacks in the whole National Football League who, first of all, can run step for step with Harold Jackson, and who, secondly, can get up there and get that ball away, because Jackson was in receiving position. The ball was on the mark, but Roger came into the inside, got both hands on it, and knocked it away.
It is 2nd down and 10. Rams come out at the Cardinal 46. 20 seconds to play in the first half. Jesse wide right. Jackson again to the left side. Klein is tight to the right, back strong left. Hayden, this time on a long count, takes the snap and goes back to throw, sets and looks and has time. Fires up and out to the left side. It is incomplete to Jackson at about the 33 as he was out of bounds trying to make the grab. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10, and the clock stopped with 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Cardinals. Rams out in front, 14-6. Cardinals with a pair of field goals. 41 yards by Jim Bakken, 41 yards, and 32 yards. McCutcheon has scored on a 4-yard run, and a 65-yard pass play from Hayden to Harold Jackson, the 2 counters for Los Angeles. Wide to the left, Jackson. Hayden brings him out. Jesse wide right, back split this time. 3rd down and 10 at the Cardinal 46-yard line. Back to throw is Hayden. He has time again over the middle, and it is incomplete to Capilotti, coming in underneath the coverage. And it goes for naught, and that'll bring up a 4th down. And 10. And Rusty Jackson comes in to punt. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. The Cardinals will have nobody back deep. They'll keep the regular secondary in there and the regular defensive front 4. Expecting some sort of trickery with only 10 seconds to play in the first half. Rusty Jackson stands back at his own 39-yard line to take the snap. The deepest man is Mike Sensabaugh. He handles the snap, and he's going to kick, and he does, and he hangs it out high and down the middle. And it hits at about the 10. It's going to roll diagonally at the 5, 4, 3, 2, and roll dead at the 2-yard line as time runs out here in the first half. That's the end of the first half in Los Angeles. The score, the Rams 14 and the Cardinals 6. The Cardinals will be kicking off to open this second half. 14-6, Rams out in front. Bakken started it with a 41-yard field goal. Cardinals got on top. McCutcheon then capped off a 70-yard drive, went in from 4 yards out, making it 7-3 after Dempsey added the point after. The Cardinals came back and got a 32-yard field goal from Bakken to make it a 1-point advantage. But then Harold Jackson caught a 65-yard pass from Pat Hayden to make it a 14-6 halftime score. And they had Tom Jarradine and Cullen Bryant back to return for the Rams. In the passing department, the Cardinals have passed for 95 yards, the Rams for 127. Cardinals have rushed for 36, and the Rams have rushed for 73. Bakken set to go. And we're about ready with the second half of this game. As the third period gets underway, Bakken comes into it, hits it high and fairly deep down the middle up to about the 10. Taken by Jarradine there. Back to the 15 of the 20. Cuts to the outside of the 25. Skips behind the block of the 30, 35, and he's going to go all the way. Nobody's going to catch him, and he's going to run it back 90 yards for a touchdown. He skipped in behind the wedge at about the 30-yard line, and then skipped inside a tackle at about the 40, and broke it all the way to run it back for the touchdown, opening the second half of this game. Tom Jarradine, 90 yards for the score for the Rams. They go on top 20-6, and that is a terrible way to start the second half.
It certainly is. The Cardinals got bunched up on the right side of the field. By the way, one of the Rams is down and out. But they got bunched up. They all gathered around the returner, and suddenly he pops through, and he's gone, and that's certainly something you cannot afford to happen in a ball game like this. And the Cardinals have come right out and allowed that to happen, and now they're really in a pickle now.
Ram player down. We can't see a number. Tom Jarradine. All the way for the score, 90 yards on the kickoff return. Now the Ram player that was shaken up, being helped off, and that is Terry Nelson, reserve tight end. out of Arkansas A&M. All the way for the score, 90 yards on the kickoff return. Now the Ram player that was taken up, being helped off, and that is Terry Nelson, reserve tight end, out of Arkansas A&M.
Well, this certainly changes the complexion of the game because the Cardinals are going to have to put the ball up a lot more now than they had originally planned to.
In the kick, Tom Dempsey. The snap back, the ball down, the kick is up, and it is good. And the Rams are out on top, 21-6 now, with 14:43 to go. And Cullen Bryant, the man with the kickoff return of 90 yards. But the Cardinals now find themselves in a very disadvantageous position, Bill.
That's why Terry Metcalf is coming out on this kick return unit to run with Wayne Morris. Terry has not returned a kickoff for a touchdown all year long. They certainly need him now. They weren't going to use him back there unless they did need him, and there's no question about the need now.
Wayne Morris, Terry Metcalf. Back to return, Dempsey will be kicking from the 35. It is now 21-6, and the Rams out in front. Washington has lost today. Dallas plays tomorrow night. Things don't get any easier. Washington, the next opponent for the Cardinals. Then following that, Dallas on Thanksgiving Day in Dallas. The Cardinal offense is going to have to come in and do the job here in the second half, and the defense having to shut down the Rams and not give them any more. Dempsey set to kick off. Metcalf stands back at about the 4. Morris will be the short man up at around the 9 or the 10. And just in front of him will be Jackie Smith. So the second half is opened with a little fireworks as far as the Rams are concerned here this afternoon. And they've already seen their closest challenger, the 49ers, lose this afternoon to Atlanta. Gives them a bit more breathing room. Metcalf standing back at the 3 as Dempsey is set to boot. See if he tries to kick away from Terry, and more than likely he will. Dempsey comes into it. It's a low bounding shot, and it's going to be taken by Okonowski at the 20, 25. Okonowski pulls his way out to about the 33-yard line. He had up ahead of steam, and the big defensive tackle took it right up the pipe and ran into a host of folks, and Ron Scribner was the man who made contact with him first, and I'm not sure he's too pleased about that, but he got him down.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Steve has gotten his hands on the ball in some unusual situations. He recovered a key fumble last week, and now he gets a kick return.
At the 33 of the Cardinals, first down. They come out with Ike Harris wide to the right side, and Pat Tilley comes out to the left side. The tight end, J.B. King. Metcalf runs with Jim Otis behind Jim Hart. Down 21-6, starting this third quarter. The give goes off to Otis, slants it over to the outside at the 35, 40, wedges his way out to around the 43-yard line, close to a first down, if not a first down. Otis hit off the left tackle slot, then slipped to the outside, and finally Monty Jackson came up from the secondary along with Jack Reynolds to help out. And coming over on the stop also was Bill Simpson. They'll mark it near the 43 and could be close enough for measurement. We will see as they bring the chains in if the Cardinals got the first down.
Cardinals starting out this third quarter the same way they did the last couple of weeks. Hopefully they'll have the same result. It is a first down.
They got it at the 43-yard line. First down on their own 43 as we're just underway here in the third quarter. Same defensive front as far as the Rams are concerned. Youngblood and Dreyer are the defensive ends. Olson and Brooks, the defensive tackles. Hart brings them out. Tilley wide right. Ike Harris wide to the left side. Back to offset, strong left behind Jim. Kane is tight on the right side at their own 43. Long count. Gives off to Metcalf. Gives a lot of ground. Wants to throw. Now he's going to keep it and run. Comes up about to the 44-yard line near the 45 and rolled out of bounds. They just about had him for a loss. He skipped out of that trouble and got it for a gain of 2 to around the 45. Fred Dreyer, the defensive right end, all the way across the field and knock him out of bounds near the 45-yard line. A gain of about 1.5 yards. It'll be second down. And still, the better part of 8 yards or better to go for the first down. Otis goes out of the game. Steve Jones comes in to replace him.
2 yards, second and 8.
Tilley and Harris come out wide to the left and set up in a slot as Harris is a slot man. The wide man to the left side is Tilley. Back split behind Hart. Second down and 8 near their own 45-yard line. Back to throw. Hart sets and has time. Pumps and fires over the middle. Complete. Ike Harris has it at the 43 and down at the 43 of the Rams. Immediately in the arms of the cornerback coming over on the left side, Rod Perry. But it'll be a first down at the 43-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Hart coming down with Harris curling into the middle and had time to throw. Had good protection. So it's a first down at the Ram 43. 21-6, Rams out in front. Wide to the left, Ike Harris. Wide to the right, Pat Tilley. J.B. Kane, tight on the right side. The back's offset strong left behind Hart. At the Ram 43-yard line, back in motion comes Tilley to the left. On the slant, it goes off to Otis, dives out to around the 40-yard line, gets it to near the 44, gain of about 3, coming over his own right tackle. Hit there by Brooks, along with Merlin Olsen. They'll mark it right at the 40. Gain of close to 3 yards, second down and about 7 yards to go. Pat Tilley and Ike Harris come out of the Cardinal huddle, wide to the left side. Into the slot goes Harris, and the wide man will be Tilley. Backs offset strong left. J.B. Kane is tight on the right side. At the 40 of the Rams, second down and 7. Hyde takes the snap, gives inside to Steve Jones, inside to the 35, down to the 32, and that'll be enough for a first down. Steve Jones coming behind the blocks of Bob Young and Roger Finney. Finally gets it down to the 32-yard line. Coming up from the secondary to make the stop, Bill Simpson on Steve Jones. They have not moved the yard markers yet. It'll be first down at the 31, near the 31-yard line. Tilley wide to the right side. Ike Harris comes out to the left side. They shift into the I behind Hart. Kane is tight on the right. Hart with a long count. Takes the snap, fakes the pop, goes inside on a slant to Ike Harris, complete at the 20, down to the 15 to the 14-yard line. To the left side, Ike Harris on a quick pop. Hit there by Monty Jackson, and he got it to the 14-yard line. And that is another first down at the Ram 14. The Cardinals, with a sustained march, have started back on their own 33 after the Ram kickoff, following the 90-yard return by Colin Bryant to open the second half. The Cardinals with a chance to get on the board. Wide to the right is Pat Tilley. Ike Harris comes to the left side. They shift into the I. J.B. Kane is tight on the right. Otis and Jones, the running backs. Fake inside. Looking. Hart throws over to the left side. Ike Harris catches it at the 2 as Hart was really drilled by the defensive left end, Jack Youngblood, as he got the ball away and floated it out to Ike Harris, and he made the catch, and a super catch it was, at the 2-yard line of the Rams for first and goal to go.
Looked like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook that time. Ike Harris was at the 2-yard line, and he had beaten his defender, and he was able to go up and pull that ball down, but Youngblood was all over Jim Hart on that play.
Rams running a couple of extra defensive folks now. The ball up on the middle. On a first and goal at the Ram 2-yard line for the Cardinals. Double tight end set. Kane and Smith are in there. Full house in the backfield. Straight T formation. Tight ends. Hart gives inside to Otis. Dives to the 1. Cannot get in. Coming over his own right guard. And leaped in there, but they stacked him up. He got about a 1-yard gain out of it to the 1-yard line. Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker, caught him up in midair as the defensive lineman submerged and submarined. They got a yard. It'll be second down and goal to go at the Rams' 1-yard line for the Cardinals.
Wayne Morris comes in, and the reason he comes in is because he has that ability to vault over the line. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wayne get this one and go over the top.
Morris will set as the fullback. Metcalf is the left halfback. The right halfback, Steve Jones, full house in the backfield, double tight end. At the 1, second down, and a yard to go for the touchdown. Metcalf starts in motion. They give to Morris. He comes into the middle. He is hit at the 1, does not go. Metcalf blew the snap count in order not to be called for a motion penalty. Took off laterally and behind the fullback. So they stack him up at the 1 again. No gain. It'll be third down and goal to go. The Cardinals' 6 points have come on field goals. They're having a tough time getting into the end zone against the Rams.
Terry, I don't know, was apparently mixed up on that play. It was obvious it was going to Wayne, but Terry had gone back to the right side.
The Cardinals come out. Third and goal at the Ram 1-yard line. Double tight end set. Straight T. Full house. Hart on the long count. Takes the snap. Gives to Metcalf. Turns to the right. Dives in for the touchdown. Terry Metcalf in from a yard out for the score, and the Cardinals got on the board.
There was a great block on that right side by Dan Dierdorf and Conrad Dobler. They split the Rams down 4, and Terry just squirted right between that block. A great block by Dierdorf and Dobler on the right side.
Hart to Ike Harris, 3 for 3 in the drive. 41 yards gained on the drive. A 67-yard drive for the score. Bakken in to try for the point after the snap back, the ball down. The kick up by Bakken. It is good with 8 minutes and 51 seconds to play in this third quarter. There's an official timeout on the score now. The Rams 21 and the Cardinals 13.
Here's Tom T. Hall for Chevy Trucks. There are more Chevy trucks around, more than any other kind. And when it comes to driving stuff, those Chevy trucks don't mind.
The point is that Chevrolet doesn't just offer you one or two trucks, but a whole lineup. One that's just right and ready and waiting for you. Pickups, heavy-duty, vans, recreational vehicles. Try them out at your local Chevy dealers, where you can afford to be choosy. See Francis Chevrolet, 11,200 St. Charles Rock Road in Bridgeton. Charlie's Chevrolet at 3721 South Grand Boulevard in St. Louis. And Schmidt Chevrolet, 512 to 518 West Main Street in Belleville, Illinois.
Over the hills or under the hood, or in miles of open spaces, Chevy trucks, built up in the right places.
Cardinals trailed by 8, 21-13. Colin Bryant, Tom Jardine back to return for the Rams. Bakken to tee it at the 35-yard line. 8 minutes, 51 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Rams opened their second half on a 90-yard kickoff return by Colin Bryant for a score, and the Cardinals came right back on a 67-yard march for a touchdown. And now trail by 8, 21-13. Bakken comes into it. It's a good kick, sailing high and deep. Taken by Colin Bryant back at the 4, to the 10, to the 15, cuts it back into the 20, 25, 27, 28, 29, and down he goes at the 29-yard line. Postal jerseys down there. Mike McDonald in on the stop for the Cardinals. Also helping out Al Beauchamp. And it'll be at the 29-yard line of the Rams where they will put it in play. Pat Hayden goes back in to run it at quarterback. He'll have Capoletti and McCutcheon as his running backs. Ron Jesse and Harold Jackson, the wide receivers. Bob Klein, the tight end. They send Jackson wide to the left side. Jesse comes wide right. Backs are split behind Hayden. Klein tied to the right side. From their own 29, first down call for Hayden. Gives on the inside counter, a cross buck to Capoletti across the 35, and a flag is thrown as he gets out to the 42-yard line, but a flag is thrown at the 31-yard line, and the Rams may be assessed with a penalty. We'll see. A holding call is the indication against the Rams. It'll cost them a first down.
I think that's their first holding.
I was going to say, I think it's their first penalty. Have they had a penalty prior to this one?
Not that I can recall.
I don't recall, Bill, but I don't think they have. That is the first they've had this afternoon. Moves the ball back to the 19-yard line. The holding call is on Tom Mack, the veteran guard. So it'll be 1st and 20 from their own 19-yard line for the Rams. Jackson coming out wide to the right side. To the left side goes Ron Jesse. The back's offset strong right behind Hayden. Klein is the tight end on the left side. From the 19, Hayden with a first down and 20 situation facing him. Looks over the front. Fakes a pop to the outside. Hits it out to Jackson at the 18 to the 20. Jackson skips inside at the 25. At the 30, and he's down right at the 30-yard line. He turned a loss into a gain of almost 11 yards. They had him hemmed in, and he juked his way inside and finally got it out to near the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain.
Not that I can recall.
I don't recall, Bill, but I don't think they have. That is the first they've had this afternoon. Moves the ball back to the 19-yard line. The holding call is on Tom Mack, the veteran guard. So it'll be 1st and 20 from their own 19-yard line for the Rams. Jackson coming out wide to the right side. To the left side goes Ron Jesse. The back's offset strong right behind Hayden. Klein is the tight end on the left side. From the 19, Hayden with a first down and 20 situation facing him. Looks over the front. Fakes a pop to the outside. Hits it out to Jackson at the 18 to the 20. Jackson skips inside at the 25. At the 30, and he's down right at the 30-yard line. He turned a loss into a gain of almost 11 yards. They had him hemmed in, and he juked his way inside and finally got it out to near the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 10 to around the 29.
11-yard gain on the play.
It'll be now 2nd down and about 10 yards to go. Ball resting just inside the 29 or outside the 29 near the 30. Well, in 2nd down, a little bit better than 9 for the Rams near their own 30-yard line. Jackson is again the wide man to the right side. Wide to the left is Ron Jesse. They shift McCutcheon out into the right slot. Hayden with one back, and that's Capoletti. Hayden goes back to throw, sets being pressured, good a run. Gets up to the 30, gets up to the 35, dives out to the 37-yard line, and he is hit right there at the 37. As he dived underneath the hit coming up from Mike Sensabaugh, the free safety. He's going to be shy of a first down by 2 or 3 yards. They'll mark it at the 37-yard line, third down, and about 2 yards to go for the Rams on their own 37.
Hayden is pretty nifty getting out of that pocket. I saw some coverage on the left side. Al Beauchamp hit McCutcheon as he swung out over the middle, and he was fed on to the Cardinal free safety who picked him up. That's who Hayden wanted to hit, but he was covered.
They go with the double tight end set now. They drop Jackson out of there. Wingman on the right is Ron Jesse. About 2 yards to go, 3rd and 2 at their own 37. Hayden gives off to Capoletti, wants the left side. Hemmed in by Worley, gets free of that, hemmed in again and driven down. And they missed the first down. They got it back to the line of scrimmage. Worley hit him and slowed him down. And then Sensabaugh came over along with Tim Kearney. And they made the stop on him near the sideline, and the Rams did not pick up the first down. No gain on the play, and it brings up 4th and 2, and Rusty Jackson comes in to punt. And Terry Metcalf will go back in single safety for the Cardinals with 6 minutes and 35 seconds and counting down in the third quarter, with the Rams out in front 21-13. Rusty Jackson stands back at around his 22-yard line to take the snap. And Metcalf waits at about his 21 to receive. Cardinals with 10 lined up across the front. They send them hard. They get it away, and he hangs a nice foul, drives Metcalf all the way back inside his 15 to the 11. Metcalf hit once at the 13, hit again, back at the 13, finally going to be spun down on fine punt coverage by the Rams at the 13-yard line on a fine punt by Rusty Jackson, and there's an official timeout. With a score, the Rams 21 and the Cardinals 13.
Stuller and Vera for Jack in the Box Restaurant.
This is goodbye, then. Give us a smile, old girl.
No tears. I want you to have this for the ride on the train.
What is it, Leslie?
A jumbo jack from Jack in the Box. Super scooper French fries, apple turnover, and strawberry shake.
They shall remind me of the night we met.
That night at Jack in the Box, I was sitting there eating my super taco and onion rings, and you walked up and asked to share my table.
The other tables were full up, and you were so decent.
No, you were so decent.
What about? Time to go.
Yes.
But I take something of you with me.
Yes, the jumbo jack, the super
No,
scoop.
darling. Your smile, the crazy tilt of your head. Promise me something.
Anything, my love.
That you won't go to Jack in the Box without me.
Oh?
I couldn't bear it if you went without me.
Roger, you know how I feel about Jack in the Box, how I love those onion rings.
You love the onion rings more than me, Leslie? I put it to you, Leslie. Do you love the onion rings more than me?
Goodbye, Roger.
Cardinals with the ball on their own 13-yard line after a 52-yard punt by Rusty Jackson and only a 2-yard return by Metcalf. Great punt coverage by the Rams. The Cardinals come out on the slot left, Harris in the slot, Tilly wide to the left side. Otis and Jones are the running backs behind Hart. Kane is tight on the right side. Takes the give inside and gives off to Jones, gets out across the 15, spins out to about the 18-yard line, a tough gain of about 5 or perhaps 6 yards out to near the 19-yard line before he is stacked up. Steve Jones coming over his own right tackle. Hit there by Merlin Olsen, the defensive left tackle. Coming up from the secondary, Dave Elmendorf to help out, and the left linebacker, Jim Youngblood. So it'll be second down and about 4 yards to go as they have it just outside their own 18-yard line. Tilly and Harris go into the slot on the right side this time with 5 minutes and 35 seconds counting down here in the third quarter. Kane is tied on the left side. Now the back split behind Jim Hart. Second down, about 4 to go near their own 19. Hart gives off to Otis, comes over to the left side, tripped up as he gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's as far as he can go. No gain on the play. Absolutely none. And Larry Brooks, the big defensive tackle, is the man who made the hit on him and stopped him for no gain. It'll bring up now third down and 4 for the Cardinals, just shy of their own 19-yard line. Metcalf comes in, Jim Otis goes out, Pat Thomas comes into the Rams secondary, and Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, is dropped out. Coming down to the 5-minute mark, 21-13, Rams out in front of the Cardinals. Into the right slot goes Ike Harris. Wide to the right is Pat Tilley. The back split behind Jim Hart. Kane is tied on the left side, third down and 4 from their own 19-yard line as Hart goes back to throw and sets and looks and fires up and out to the right side. Ike Harris has it complete at the 35 with a leaping grab and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. In front of Pat Thomas, or behind Pat Thomas, the ball thrown high, and Harris went up for it and grabbed it and gets the Cardinals out of a hole out to their own 36-yard line.
That was a super catch by Ike Harris. He had to use all of his 6'4" to go up and get that one. Jim put it right on the money. He didn't have any room for error because the Rams had tight coverage. He put it in the only spot he could put it.
Cardinals come out on their own 36. First down. Wide to the left is Tilley, into the left slot, Harris. Backs off, set strong left. Metcalf end around. They give on the counter to Metcalf. Turns it to the outside. Hit. Cannot get free. He's going to lose about 3 yards. As they are hit, he's hit by Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, and the defensive left end, Jack Youngblood, or Fred Dryard is the defensive right end who came across to help out. They'll mark it at the 33-yard line. That's a loss of 3 and brings up a second down and 13. And they have really keyed on Metcalf from scrimmage, Phil. They've had somebody just almost on his back all the time, whether he has the ball or not.
They're going to have to go to counter play action to cut down that pursuit.
Wide to the left side. Tilley into the left side, Ike Harris. Metcalf and Otis, the running back, split behind Hart. Second and 13 from their own 33. Defense moves. Hart goes back to throw. They got back in time, swings it out to the right. Tilley takes it for a no gain or maybe a yard to the 34-yard line, covering Monty Jackson. They get only a yard on the play. It'll bring up third down and 12. Now they have a motion call against the Cardinals. A motion call against the Cardinals. The defense appeared to move ahead of the snap, but no flag was thrown, and the motion call goes against the Cardinals. That's going to cost them if the Rams decide to take it or take the yard gain and bring up a third down and 12. Penalty is declined. It'll be third down and 12 for the Cardinals. And no gain. Now they mark it right at the 33-yard line. No gain on the play. Third down and 13.
This is what Joe Sullivan was talking about. The Cardinals getting something going and then have a penalty take them out of it.
They come out with Ike Harris to the left side, Pat Tilley to the right side. Metcalf and Jones, the running back, split behind Jim Hart. J.B. Kane tight on the right side. Hart on the long count. Takes the snap and goes back to throw. Sets inside. Fires deep up the right. It is intended for Tilley. He dives and catches it at the 23-yard line. Pat Tilley at the 22 with a diving grab. Pat Tilley. He had beaten the coverage, but it looked like the ball was going to be overthrown, and he dived and cut it on his fingertips and down at the 22-yard line. Woohoo.
Was that a catch or was that a catch?
We'll pause. 15 seconds now for station identification. This is the Cardinals Football Network.
Frederick Roofing, 46 years in the roofing and siding business, says for a hole in your roof or for a whole new roof, call Gene Frederick, 645-2000. In the center of St. Louis County, 8000 Manchester at Hanley. KMOX St. Louis, 25 seconds past 5 o'clock.
45-yard pass play. Cardinals first down to the Ram 22. Tilley wide to the left. Harris wide to the right. Jones end around with Otis. And the give goes to Otis slanting over the right side inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line before he is spun down. Hard in this half, 6 for 6, 102 yards. Bill Simpson, the safety man, up on the stop on Otis at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, second down and 7. The ball resting just shy of the Ram 18-yard line. Minute 56 to play in the third quarter, 21-13. Rams out in front. Cardinals trying to get on the board and cut it down to a 1 point. Tilley goes to the right side. They have J.B. Kane on the right wing now. I formation. Wide to the left side is Ike Harris. Kane now comes in motion out of the wing spot. Fake the pitch. Firing out to the right. It is incomplete intended for Tilley. Swinging it out to the right side. And coming up is Rod Perry, the left cornerback, who read it all the way and read it well. And it goes incomplete. It'll bring up third down. And about 7 yards to go at the Ram 18-yard line.
He read that one too well, because if Tilley hadn't bumped into him, he had that ball and was gone for about 80 yards.
Metcalf comes in. Otis goes out of the Cardinal backfield. Minute 38 to go in the third quarter. Third down and 7 at the Ram 18-yard line. Cardinals come out with Tilley wide to the left side, and Harris goes into the left slot. J.B. Kane tight on the right. Jones and Metcalf split behind Hart. Again, looks over the front 4, long count, takes the snap, sets the throw, steps into the pocket, fires into the end zone. It is caught at about the 4-yard line by Ike Harris and driven back to about the 6. They'll give him the reception at the 4-yard line, and it's a first and goal to go. Now they mark it all the way to the 2-yard line, where he was hit. Bill Simpson made the stop, the safety man, and Ike Harris again on an outstanding leaping catch coming over the middle and sets the Cardinals up at the Ram 2 with a first and goal to go.
I'm telling you, if there are any other quarterbacks in this National Football League who can throw the football, it can't be more than 1 or 2 better than number 17. I don't think there are any.
Full house in the backfield. Double tight end set. First and goal at the Ram 2-yard line. Hard under center. They move. He gives it in the middle. Otis dives in. Penalty flags go up. Let's see what the call is. see if the Cardinals get in, or is the penalty against the Cardinals?
Motion against the Cardinals.
Motion against the Cardinals is going to be the call. It'll move it back to the 7-yard line. Otis had dived in for the score. The Cardinals are going to beef a bit about the call. There's been only one penalty called against the Rams here this afternoon. The offense motion, and they called Otis in motion. They replay. Double penalty. Offsetting calls as the defense moved as well. It is first and goal at the Ram 2-yard line. The Cardinals got a break there. We're down to 51 seconds to play, third quarter. And the Cardinals trying to trim the Ram lead down to 1. They can do it with a touchdown and the point after. Full house in the backfield, Jones, Otis, and Metcalf. Double tight end set, Smith on the right, Kane on the left side. At the 2-yard line, first and goal to go. In motion comes the right halfback, Jones out to the left, off to Otis, and in the middle, dives in, does not get anything. And let's see if there may have been a loose ball. No, there's not a loose ball, just no gain on the play. It is second and goal as Otis was hit by Larry Brooks, the defensive tackle, knifing in underneath, like it right at the 2-yard line. There was a loose ball, they say, and Otis recovered it. Down to 30 seconds to go in this third quarter. Cardinals come out. Double tight end set again at the Ram 2-yard line. Full house backfield. Hyde bends under center. The clock down to 15 seconds to play third quarter. Out of the long count. Takes the snap. Gives off to Metcalf. Turns the right corner. Cuts inside. Dives. He is in for the touchdown. Just barely got in for the score. He was almost hit behind the line by a defensive back coming up in a hurry, and that was Elmendorf. He got free of that, Bill, and then turned it, and Reynolds got him on the right at the goal line, and he was able to dive in for the score. And that makes it a 2-point advantage for the Rams, and Bakken can trim that down to 1.
I'll tell you, Bob, the only second and third effort got Terry Metcalf in there. He was trying to sweep wide. They had him, but he just kept fighting and got into the end zone.
All set for the point after try to give the Cardinals 20. Worley is holding. Bakken comes into the ball, hits it right up the pipe, and it is good with 6 seconds showing on the clock in the third quarter. There's an official timeout with the score. The Rams 21 and the Cardinals 20.
How many times have you wished that somebody made a really safe portable electric heater? I mean, one that you could just plug in and forget about for the entire heating season. So safe that a child could stuff it with tissue, and you needn't worry about the tissue even igniting. Well, there is such a heater, and it's the Intertherm Portable Electric Baseboard Heater, available at any of the Hilbean Lumber and Building Material Centers here in the St. Louis area. Not only is the Intertherm the safest portable heater available, but its gentle heat is so healthy. No noisy fans or blasts of heat, just a gentle, radiant heat from the uniquely permanently sealed hot water and antifreeze solution. The unit never needs to be refilled, and it's thermostatically controlled, so you set the correct temperature. Stop by Hilbean this week. Get the whole story on the revolutionary Intertherm Portable Electric Heater. They've sold thousands of units right here in the St. Louis area. There are 3 popular models to choose from at all Hilbean stores, and they accept MasterCharge, Bank AmeriCard, or they have their own credit plans available. That's Hilbean for Intertherm Portable Heaters.
An 87-yard drive, 11 plays, and 3 outstanding catches by the Cardinal receivers, 2 by Ike Harrison, and a tremendous grab by Pat Tilley. Set the Cardinals up to go in for the score. Bakken sets a kick. Jarradine and Cullen Bryant are the deep men to return. They're back at the 5. Bakken kicks it toward Cullen Bryant. He drifts back and takes it at the 4-yard line. Back to the 5, the 10. Cuts it over to the right side of the 15. At the 20. At the 25. And he is going to be spun down at about the 26-yard line. Good return by Cullen Bryant. Coming down, Gary Hammond on the tackle. And the third quarter has come to an end. That's the end of the third quarter and the score. The Rams 21 and the Cardinals 20.
Hi, this is Don Coryell. And the winner this year has got to be the great line of 1977 Chevrolet.
Now that's more like it. More like it.
Chevy's made the new Chevrolet a whole new ball game with a more manageable size, a trimmed-down weight, but big 6-passenger roominess. See the new Chevrolet at Ray Grebley Chevrolet, at Outline at Buckmaster in Alton, Bob Kaiser Chevrolet on Natural Bridge in St. Louis, Jim Meager Chevrolet Oldsmobile on First Capitol Drive in St. Charles, and Weber Chevrolet on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. The new Chevy.
Now that's more like it.
First down, Rams at their own 26-yard line, leading by a point, and the fourth quarter underway. Cardinal defense out on the field, and they have the chore now. Not to let the Rams have any more, Bill. It's going to be a tough chore. You know, they're going to run it at them. They can do that, although they have played the run very well here this afternoon. Hayden has been surprisingly good with his passing, better than you and I expected.
Well, the primary reason is because the Cardinals have not been able to get a good pass rush on him, and the reason is John Zook, who has the ability to put tremendous pressure on a pocket passer, can't do that against Hayden, because if he goes flying in there, Hayden's going to take off around him and get substantial yardage. So John's rush, as well as Bob Bell's rush, has to be a controlled rush, and Charlie Davis and Mike Dawson, perhaps with a blitz to back them up, would have to put the pressure on Pat Hayden. But the key to playing defense is to keep them from getting more than 3 yards on first down. When they get 4 or 5 on first down, then you wind up with a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2, and that's how the other team keeps drives going.
Rams come out. Ron Jesse wide to the left side. Jackson wide to the right. Hayden at quarterback. Backs off that strong right. Bob Klein, the tight end, sets on the left from their own 26-yard line. First down call. Hayden wheels out and gives to Capilotti. Wants the right side. Gets it at the 30 and runs into a block at the 35 and falls out to about the 38-yard line and picks up 11 or 12 yards on the carry on a first down. Finally was hit by Mark Arneson along with Tim Kearney, the middle linebacker, as they slanted it over to the outside on the right. Got inside Bob Bell. So it's a first down out at their own 37-yard line, a gain of 11 for John Capilotti. Rams come out with Jackson wide to the left side this time, and Ron Jesse goes to the right. The backs are split behind Pat Hayden from his own 37-yard line. Bob Klein, the tight end, is on the right side. First down call for Hayden. Looks over the front board, takes the snap, drifts out to the left side, set the throw, is going to run it now, cuts back into the 40, falls at the 42-yard line, rather than take a hit from Larry Stallings, who was bearing down on him, and he picks up about 5 yards, close to 5. They'll mark it at the 42, and it is a 5-yard gain. Well, the Rams, total penalties and yardage here. Cardinals 3 for 25 in the and 4 for 35 yards against the Rams. That's how we stand penalty-wise here. Gain of 5, second down, and about 5 yards to go on their own 42. Backs are split behind Hayden. Wide to the right side is Jesse. Give on the counter this time to Capilotti. Him in behind the line. Gets free of a tackle. Comes out to the 42. Back to the line of scrimmage. He got by Tim Kearney, who had him for a loss if he could have gotten him back at around the 38, 37-yard line. But he turned it into perhaps a yard gain at the 43-yard line and brings up now 3rd down and 4 for the Rams.
That's that reverse Statue of Liberty play where the quarterback goes back, holds the ball up, and then hands it to the back cutting across in front of him. They got substantial yardage the first time. The Cardinals rated well that time, but they weren't able to get him in the backfield.
3rd down, 4 yards to go at their own 43. Rams with Jesse wide to the left side and Jackson wide to the right side. Tight end is on the left. Klein has not been a target too often here this afternoon. Backs are offset strong right. Hayden fakes the draw, rolls out to the right to throw, fires up and out, and it is complete to Jackson at the 41-yard line on his knees in front of Norm Thompson, and they get the first down. And a flag is thrown, and there may be a penalty against the Cardinals for a late hit on the quarterback. The ball is at the 41-yard line where the reception was made, and the penalty apparently against the Cardinals for a late hit on Pat Hayden. It'll be marked off from the 41-yard line, 15 yards, moving it down to the Cardinals' 26-yard line, and an unnecessary penalty that the Cardinals really don't need at this particular time. They trailed by a point. Mike Dawson is the man who was called for roughing the passer, and so the Rams now at the Cardinals' 26-yard line with an excellent opportunity to get in for at least 3. Wide to the right goes Jesse. Wide to the left side comes Harold Jackson. McCutcheon and Capilotti offset strong left behind Pat Hayden. The tight end is on the right side of the Cardinal 26-yard line. First down call to give to McCutcheon. Wants to sweep the right side. Has it at the 25, 24, falls to about the 23. So he got about 3 yards out of it. They shut it down from the outside, forced it back in. Thompson coming up on the stop to help out for the Cardinals. They'll mark it at the 23. It'll be a gain of 3 and second down and 7 for the Rams at that spot.
A rollout quarterback is especially difficult to defend against this far down the field because when he starts rolling, those linebackers don't know what he's going to do.
Hayden brings them out and sends Jackson wide to the left side. Off to the right goes Ron Jesse. The backs are split behind Hayden on second down and 7 at the Cardinal 23-yard line. Hayden gives inside to McCutcheon. Hit at the 23, dropped at the 22-yard line. Good play by Mike Dawson, the rookie tackle, as he got off his block and was able to get McCutcheon before he could cut it to the outside, and he had some yardage ahead of him, but Dawson shut it down at the Cardinal 22-yard line, makes it now 3rd down and 6 for the Rams. Beauchamp comes in. Stallings goes out at the left linebacking spot for the Cardinals. Rams come on with Ron Jesse going wide to the right side, and coming off to the left is Harold Jackson. The backs are split behind Hayden. Flying is tight on the right side. The Cardinal, 22, 3rd and 6. Back to throw is Hayden. Sets in the pocket. Fires over to the right side. Complete to Capilotti. He's inside the 15, at the 10, down to the 8, and down to the 7-yard line. John Capilotti coming out of the backfield, swinging under the coverage, and took it in at about the 15-yard line and got it down to the Cardinal 7-yard line for a 1st and goal to go.
Well, whatever the coverage was that the Cardinals had on that side, the linebacker, Beauchamp, was not even remotely close to Capilotti when he floated out into the right flat. And, man alive, you give up some precious yardage on plays like that.
11:04 to go, and the Rams threatening. 1st and goal at the Cardinals 7. Jackson wide right. To the left side comes Ron Jesse. Capilotti and McCutcheon. Offset to the right behind Hayden. At the Cardinal 7, 1st down call. In motion comes Jesse, trotting back to the right. The give inside to McCutcheon. Dives inside the 5, and the flag goes down as he gets to about the 3-yard line. A penalty marker is down, and let's see what the call is. The Cardinals on the stop. Bob Bell, the defensive left end, got McCutcheon at about the 3 and perhaps the 2-yard line. But see if the penalty goes against the Rams. It is a motion penalty against Los Angeles, and the Cardinals will accept that. It'll move the ball back to about the 13-yard line. 10 minutes and 47 seconds to play in this game. 21-20, Rams by 1, but they're threatening to go up by 8. Penalty moves the ball back to the 13-yard line. 1st and 15, and 1st and goal for the Rams at the 13. Hayden stands out to the side, gets the sign from the sideline as he ducks back into the huddle. The Rams come out with Jackson going out to the right side. Wide, Ron Jesse comes to the left side. The tight end, Bob Klein, sets on the left. Hayden bends under center. Backs off, sets strong right at the 13, 1st down call. Hayden wheels out of there, gives on the draw in the middle to McCutcheon inside the 10, down to about the 8-yard line. They get the 5 they lost. Coming over his own right tackles, they open it up on a delay play. And the stop was made by Tim Kearney, the middle linebacker for the Cardinals. They'll mark it at the 8. It'll be 2nd and goal to go for the Rams at the 8-yard line. Coming into the ball game now is Dwight Scales, rookie wide receiver. He replaces Ron Jesse for the Rams, and Scales goes out wide to the right side. Coming to the left side is Harold Jackson. Back split behind Hayden. Tight ends on the right. At the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal to go. Hayden sprints out to the left side. Sets and gives the inside pitch to Capilotti. Hit at the 6 and dropped at the 5-yard line. Capilotti hit first by Charlie Davis and then fell into the arms of Mike Arneson right at the 5. It'll be a gain of 3. And it's going to be now 3rd down and goal to go at the Cardinal 5-yard line.
The Rams apparently have a separate playbook for Pat Hayden because we've seen shovel passes, Statue of Liberty plays, reverse Statue of Liberty plays, rollouts. He has really been something with his variety here this afternoon.
Scales wide to the right side. Jackson comes to the left side. 3rd and goal at the Cardinal 5-yard line. Back split behind Hayden. Klein is tied on the right side. Hayden works on the long count again. Drops straight back to throw. Sets in the pocket. Now scrambles out to the left side. He wants to run. He's going to run. He's going to score. He's in for the touchdown. Pat Hayden on an 8-yard scramble goes in for the score right at the flag, and the Rams go on top by 7 and can go up by 8 if Tom Dempsey converts.
Well, again, that rollout quarterback is something to handle down inside your 20-yard line. That time the Cardinals had good pressure on Hayden. They also had good coverage in the secondary, but everybody in the middle of the line had converged on the middle, and nobody was on the outside.
An 8-yard scramble, or 5-yard scramble, I should say, by Pat Hayden for the score. Dempsey had to try for the point after. All set. Priest is holding. Snap back, the ball down. Dempsey's kick is up. It is good. With 9 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the ball game. The Rams take a larger lead. There's an official timeout in the score now. The Rams 28 and the Cardinals 20.
At Anheuser-Busch, we think it's important for you to believe in what you're doing.
So you've the right to sing your own song, and no one else can tell you if it's right or wrong. Living your own life, that's what life means. Come on and write your own words and show your own color. Come on, America, sing your own song. You're one of a kind, so step out from the others. It's people just like you that made America strong.
People believing in what they're doing, much like the people at Anheuser-Busch who believe there's only one way to brew Busch beer, and that's the natural way for a light, smooth taste.
So you've a right to sing your own song.
Busch beer, when you believe in what you're doing.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Rams out in front now, 28-20, a 74-yard drive, 10 plays. They consume 5 minutes and 38 seconds of time. 9:22 left to play, and the Cardinals down by 8. Dempsey set to kick off. Metcalf is the deep man. Morris up at about the 13 or 14. Metcalf waits at about the 4 as Dempsey comes into it. Hits one high and deep. It's going to sail all the way back into the end zone, a yard deep. Metcalf takes it there. He's back out to the 5, the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25-yard line. Metcalf is down at the 25 as they run it right back up the middle. And now here's a flag thrown. And let's see what the call is here.
Against the Cardinals.
It's going to go against the Cardinals. So the return of 26 yards by Metcalf is going to be nullified, or damaged anyway, as the penalty will move the ball back to the 13-yard line, about the 12.5, half the distance of the goal line. The clipping call against the Cardinals. So the Cardinals have to start from their own 12-yard line. The last time they scored, they started from their own 13-yard line. So they have their backs to the wall, down by 8. They come out with Pat Tilley wide to the left side, Ike Harris into the left slot. Metcalf, and Otis are the running backs behind Hart from his own 12. Kane is tight on the right side. First down call, he gives to Otis, slants it over the outside on the left, across the 15, out to about the 17-yard line, as Otis gets about 5 yards out of it before he is finally stopped. Coming up on the stop for the Rams was Bill Simpson, along with Isaiah Robertson, the right linebacker. They mark it at the 17-yard line. Gain of close to 5, second down, and about 5.5 to go. Wide to the left comes Ike Harris, and to the right side is Pat Tilley. Otis remains in there with Metcalf on a second down, about 5.5 from their own 17-yard line. Hard under center with Kane tight on the right side. Jim goes back and gives on the draw to Metcalf, breaks it right up the middle for a short yardage to about the 20-yard line, and that is as far as he can go. It was Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, who got down in on the play and stopped him right at the 20, and the Cardinals will be forced now with a third down and about 2.5, close to 3 yards to go from their own 20-yard line. Otis goes out of the lineup. In replacing him is Steve Jones. 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the game, and the Cardinals trail by 8, 28-20. Into the right slot comes Ike Harris. Wide to the right is Pat Tilley. Kane, tight on the left side. JV has not been a target too often. Backs are split behind Hart from his 20, goes back to throw, and he sets. Then he looks, and he fires up and out to the right. Tilley has it, complete at the 35, cuts it back inside at the 38-yard line, and he's down right there. Pat Tilley, in front of the quarterback, Rod Perry, took a bullet from Jim Hart, and they convert the third down challenge into a first down out at their own 38-yard line, and a gain of 18 yards on the play. First down on their own 38. The Cardinals can score. They would still trail by 1. Jones goes out. Otis comes back in to run with Metcalf. Wide to the right side comes Ike Harris. Pat Tilley wide to the left side. The youngster's had himself a good day receiving the ball. Both have, Harris and Tilley. Hart from his own 38-yard line. Kane tight on the left side, and the backfield moves ahead of time. They give to Otis. He comes up the middle, picks up about 5 or 6 yards, but Metcalf was in motion as he blew the snap count.
Boy, they've had some costly penalties. In the last touchdown scored by the Rams, they were given an additional 15 yards after about a 20-yard pass play because of a late hit on the run back that time, a clipping call, and now they have another motion call. So a team which characteristically does not commit a lot of penalties is doing so here this afternoon, and it's really hurt.
Metcalf was in motion, so the ball is moved back to the 33-yard line on the 5-yard motion call. Hart in this half is 8 out of 9 for 137 yards, and Jim has thrown the ball extremely well. Olsen comes out of the ball game, and he is replaced by Mike Fanning. as the defensive left tackle. 1st and 15 from their own 33. Tilley wide to the right, Harris wide to the left side. Backs offset to the left behind Jim Hart. He takes the snap and goes back to throw and sets, pressured, flips out on the right center screen to the tight end. Kane up to the 35-40, 45-50. Kane to the 45-yard line of the Rams and a first down. Screen pass to the tight end, J.B. Kane. They turn it up for the first down, and the stop finally made by the Rams' Dave Elmendorf at the Ram 45-yard line, and that is a first down.
That's the second time this year that the Cardinals have used that tight end screen. They put it into the playbook the week they played the 49ers, and they brought it back out here against the Rams.
Gain of 22. They're at the Ram 45. 6 minutes and 40 seconds to play. Trailing by 8. Wide to the left, Pat Tilley. Ike Harris wide to the right side. I formation. As Jones and Otis are the runners, they shift out now. Strong right behind Hart. Kane is tight on the left side. They give to Otis into the middle. Hit at the 35. Down at the 35. Is hit by Larry Brooks, the big defensive tackle. Knocks him off his feet right at the line of scrimmage. And there's no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Cardinals at the Ram 45-yard line. The clock continues to run down to 6 minutes and 13 seconds and counting down here in the fourth quarter.
And as this time ticks away, it takes away the Cardinals' option to run the football. They're going to have to start putting it up with a great deal of regularity, and the Rams are aware of that.
Wide to the left goes Ike Harris. Coming out to the right side is Pat Tilley. J.B. Kane is tight on the right side. The backs offset strong left. Metcalf and Jones running as Otis is out of there. Hart on 2nd and 10 at the Ram 45. Back to throw. He sets and fires up over the middle. Complete to Ike Harris at the 26-yard line, and down he goes. Ike Harris came down and in front of Monty Jackson and was hit as he took the pass right at the 26. It's another first down. And that's a gain of about 19 yards on the pass play down to the 26-yard line. It'll be first down for the Cardinals at the Ram 26. Metcalf goes out of the lineup. Otis comes back in. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this game. 28-20. Rams out in front. Cardinals trying to get on the board. Cuts the lead down to 1. Tilley is wide to the left side, and Ike Harris is wide to the right. Kane is tight on the left side. Otis and Jones offset strong right. At the 26, give to Otis. Slants over the right side for a yard to the 25 and no more. Stacked up by Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker. Along with Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, coming in on the stop. It's a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9 yards to go for the Cardinals at the Ram 25-yard line. The clock running down to 4 minutes and 50 seconds to play in this game. Jones and Otis stay in the backfield. Hart brings him out, puts J.B. Kane tight on the left side as Pat Tilley goes wide to the left, and Ike Harris comes wide to the right. Hart at the 25 of the Rams, 2nd down and 9. Back shift out and split behind Hart. Looks over the front 4, long count, drops back to throw. Looking, has plenty of time, fires up and toward the end zone for Kane. Touchdown! J.B. Kane from 25 yards out. The lead is trimmed to 2, and Bakken can trim it to 1, and the touchdown comes with 4 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the game. Jim Hart to J.B. Kane.
And did he ever have time to throw that football? That Cardinal offensive line gave him up to 10 seconds. J.B. Kane came down the left side, broke on a post pattern all the way down to the right corner of the end zone, wide open, the ball right on the mark.
Bakken in to try for number 27 for the Cardinals. Snap back, the ball down. His kick is up, and it is good. With 4 minutes and 23 seconds to play, there's an official timeout and the score. The Rams 28 and the Cardinals 27.
Every day, more and more people are moving to Missouri Savings, and that's because we're close. Close enough to know you as a person, to get close to your needs, to help you choose the savings plan that meets them. Close enough to be there when you need financial help or advice. Convenient and close too. With so many offices, we're close to where you live, wherever you live. Missouri Savings expects to be close to you in a lot of ways, because we're more than just a place to save. We're people who want to be close to the people we're helping. If that's what you're looking for, get close to us. Missouri Savings, close by, close to you.
Missouri Savings for close. We're close. Close by, close to you.
Cardinals down by a point, 28-27, as Bakken gets set to kick off. Cullen Bryant and Tom Gerardine back to return for the Rams. Hart in this half, 11 out of 12 for 203 yards. Overall, he's 18 out of 29 for 298 yards. Back and sets the boot. 4:23 to play. Hits it good. Sails it down toward Bryant. Drives him back into the end zone, a yard deep. He skids and starts out back to the 5, the 10, to the 15, to the 20, 25. Spun down at the 28-yard line. Coming down was Wayne Morris, the rookie out of SMU, to make the stop on him. And an outstanding return by Colin Bryant.
The Cardinals were converging on him as he slipped. You can see his skid mark in the end zone 1 yard deep. And he brought it right back up the pipe. A lot of times on a kickoff like that, the coverage will overrun the kick return, and it almost happened on that play.
Well, the Cardinal defense has to go to work. They're down by a point. Jackson wide to the left side as the Rams come out. Wide to the right goes Ron Jesse. Klein is tight on the right. Back split, McCutcheon and Capilotti behind Pat Hayden from his own 28-yard line. Takes the snap, gives on the counter to McCutcheon, sweeping to the right side, cuts it inside at the 30, down at the 31-yard line. As they covered it well, Thompson came in and forced it down and forced it back inside. And that allowed Ken Reeves to come up from the secondary and make the stop after a gain of perhaps 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. We'll pause 15 seconds now for station identification. This is the Cardinals Football Network.
Coats and Things have added men's leather coats at Fairview Heights, Northland, and Northwest Plaza. Leather prices start as low as $60 at Coats and Things. This is KMOX, the sports voice of St. Louis. It's exactly 5:30.
2nd down and 7 from their 32. Hayden has them out. Gives on the inside to McCutcheon. Hit right at the 32-yard line by Tim Kearney, the middle linebacker, for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Kearney held his ground and jumped right into the breach and stopped McCutcheon for no gain right at the 32. It'll bring up 3rd down and still 7 yards to go for the 1st down. The Cardinal defensive secondary is changed now as they expect the pass play. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in this game, and a big 3rd down play here for the Cardinal defense, and equally big for the Rams offense.
They haven't used McCutcheon on the swing pass. They've been using Capilotti. I'd watch these backs extremely closely on this play.
They come out, back split. Jackson wide left, Jesse wide to the right side. Klein is tight on the right. Hayden goes straight back to throw and sets and looks, and he's going to run now. Comes out to the left side at the 30 and gets outside Arneson at the 35, 40, and out of bounds for the 1st down. Pat Hayden on the scrambled out of trouble and got the 1st down at the 41-yard line.
And that really hurts. They had great coverage. We're putting the pressure on him, and that's why I mentioned that defensive ends can't put great pressure on a passer like Pat Hayden because he'll step right around you, and that's what he did that time. And again, he had about 10 yards in front of him and no Cardinal defender around.
1st down at the Ram 41. They come out with Jackson wide to the right side. They bring Ron Jesse out to the left side. Backs offset strong right. Bob Klein is tight on the left side. 2:44 to play, a point separating the two. 28-27 Rams. Hayden gives to Capilotti. Wants the right, ducks into about the 43s. He cut in over his own right tackle. Swarmed under there. Got a couple of yards to about the 43, but no more. Larry Stallings, the left linebacker, shut it down. And then he dived right into Charlie Davis, the defensive left tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And we're coming down to 2 minutes and 25 seconds and counting down here in this 4th and final period, with the Rams out in front by 1, 28-27.
Rams are not going to run a play here. They're going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute mark.
The Cardinals call for a timeout and use up one of their 3. With 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the game, the Rams with a 2nd down and 8 on their own 43-yard line. The Cardinals killing the clock as the Rams wanted it to run down to the 2-minute mark. But the Cardinals have to get the ball back, Bill, and how they're going to do it, I'm not quite sure.
Well, what really breaks your back is that for 2 successive downs, you play extremely well as the Cardinals did that time. Then you have great coverage in the secondary, and then Hayden rolls out and gets away from it and gets the 1st down. That was a very critical 1st down because at the time he got it, it was about 3 minutes or so to go, and now you're down inside 2:25, 2:14 to be exact, and you have to stop them again, and even when you get the ball back, it's going to be down inside the 2-minute mark.
Well, you don't expect Hayden to put it up on a 2nd and long here. As a matter of fact, I don't expect him to put it up at all unless it just becomes of dire necessity. Stallings has been over to the sideline, talk it over with the Cardinal staff. And on the near sideline, the Rams are discussing it. 2 minutes, 14 seconds to play. 28-27, the Rams lead by 1. They led at halftime, 14-6. Cardinals came back and trimmed that. After they'd gone down 21-6, Colin Bryant opened the second half with a 90-yard kickoff return. Hart has thrown the ball extremely well here in the second half, and he has 298 yards overall throwing the ball. It's at the 43 of the Rams. They're set to go with a 2nd down and 8 situation, and 2:14 remaining. Rams come out. They go with a double tight end set and a wing on the right side. Backs off set to the left. Hayden bends under the center. Works on the long count, takes the snap, sprints out to the left side. They've got him hemmed in behind the 40, gets by and drops at the 41-yard line. John Zook just tripped him up, and he dived with the 41 for a loss of 2 right into the arms of Mike Dawson. That'll get it back to the original line of scrimmage. There's the 2-minute warning. It'll be now 3rd down and 10 for the Rams on their own 41. An official timeout on the score. The Rams 28 and the Cardinals 27.
Cooler and Vera for Jack in the Box Restaurant.
Everybody's here tonight for this fabulous premiere, and here's that fabulous new star, Vera Mandalay, stepping out of her limousine and over her fans. Vera!
Bert, darling!
Vera, you look sensational tonight.
Yes.
And what's that sticking out of your gold lame muff?
What? Oh, that's a Jack-in-the-Box bag, Bert.
Hollywood's brightest star stopped at a Jack-in-the-Box.
Certainement.
That's a real star, folks.
I don't forget my roots, Bert. When the agents weren't calling, I could always count on Jack-in-the-Box for a good meal, and I still do.
Fabulous.
French fries, shakes, the bonus Jack with the double patty.
Fabulous.
100% beef, Bert.
100% star.
Thank you, Jack-in-the-Box.
A simple
Where there's
star.
always a smile and a balloon.
Hollywood heavens.
Thank you, clown, for giving me the strength to go on.
Vera, you were sensational.
You bet your super taco I was.
2 minutes to play. At the 41-yard line of the Rams, 3rd and 10 for Los Angeles. Hayden trots back into the Ram huddle. After conferring on the sideline, the Cardinals down by a point, 28-27. They need the football. They've got to shut them down in this play, force them into a punting situation. Hayden has scrambled out for a 1st down in this particular drive. They got him out of a jam. So Hayden bends into the Ram huddle on a 3rd down and 10 situation. The Cardinals make some defensive changes now. They bring in 2 new defensive tackles, Okonowski and Leo Brooks, and a couple of extra defensive backs. Hayden brings them in. He is set with the backs offset strong right, flying his tight on the left side. 3rd and 10 from his 41-yard line. Hayden goes back to throw. Sets and looks. Now he's going to scramble. He's hemmed in. He's going to be sacked all the way back at the 28-yard line. Pressure from Brooks and Okonowski and Bell made the difference. And they sack him back at the 28-yard line. They'll mark it at the 29, and Rusty Jackson comes in the punt, and the Cardinals are going to get their hands on the ball. Less than 2 minutes to go. 1:54 showing on the clock now. And the Cardinals call for another timeout.
Cardinals have only 1 timeout remaining. There appeared to be some confusion on the field as to what they were going to do. And that was a very costly timeout, too, as they're conferring on the sideline now. Terry Metcalf, without question, is going to come in to return this kick. Now, the question is, are you going to go for the block and risk hitting the punter, or go for the block and take a chance on blocking the punter, or are you going to try to set up the wedge for Terry Metcalf? I would guess they try to set the wedge for Metcalf.
I think that's the reason for the timeout, Bill, to discuss what kind of a return they're going to put on out here, if they can put on any kind of a return at all. Metcalf will go back in single safety, and they line him up 10 across the front.
Well, Metcalf has not returned a punt for a touchdown all year long, and this is one of the things that helped him to make All-Pro last year, so we'll see if he can return to form.
4th down, 21 yards to go. The line of scrimmage back at the Ram 29 as Rusty Jackson is in the punt, and he's had a good day of punting. Metcalf waits back between his 25 and 30-yard lines to receive the punt. The Cardinals have him 10 across the front. Rusty Jackson stands back at about his 15-yard line to take the snap. He does, and he steps into it. And he hangs it out toward the right side. Metcalf waits for it. He hits it well. He's back at his 23. Takes it there. Up to the 30, 35, 40. Up to the 45, to the 50. And out of bounds at the Ram 48-yard line is Terry Metcalf with 1:39 remaining. The Cardinals have the ball at the Ram 48-yard line as they start this, what perhaps could be the final series of downs.
And trailing by 1 point. So what are you going to do? Keep it on the ground or put it up?
At the 48 of the Rams, 1:39 to go, 28-27, Los Angeles by a point. Pat Tilley and Ike Harris are the wide men. Tilley to the right side. Wide to the left is Ike Harris. The running backs are Steve Jones and Terry Metcalf. Kane is tight on the right. Hard back to throw on first down. Swings it out to the right to Jones. Gets inside a block at the 50. He's going to be hit as he gets back to near the line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line, on fine coverage. And Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker, came out to spin him down. No gain. It'll be second down and 10 at the Ram 48-yard line. Cardinals go without a huddle. Clock down to 1 minute and 18 seconds to go. Tilley wide right, Harris to the left, hard back to throw again. Fires up and out to Ike Harris, and it's over his head at the 25 as he curled out, and the ball went up away from him. Now it's third down and 10. The Cardinals need yardage up to within field goal range, Bill.
They certainly do, and they've converted on some key third downs now. Now, this would be a key down for the Rams to blitz. 3rd and 10, you know he has to throw for at least 10 yards. You're going to be watching the sidelines because you know the receivers want to get out of bounds. And wouldn't be a bad time for a screenplay.
Hart brings him out. Tilley wide to the left side. Harris comes out to the right side. 1:12 remaining. Back to split. Jones and Metcalf. Back to throw is Hart on 3rd and 10. Sets and looks. Fires up and into the middle. Ike Harris has it at the 25. He's down to the 22-yard line. Ike Harris with a leaping grab in front of Rod Perry. Or Bill Simpson it was, the safety man. Cardinals go without a huddle. 54 seconds to play. First down at the Rams' 22-yard line, and the official stops the clock as the Rams are slow getting back on defense. 52 seconds to play. First down at the Rams' 22-yard line. Without a huddle. Tilley wide right, Harris to the left side, Hart back to throw. Look, fires up and out to the right, and Tilley took it out pattern. The ball was thrown into the end zone and incomplete. That stops the clock with 44 seconds to play. 28-27, the Cardinals down by 1. They're at the Ram 22-yard line.
Now, that play really surprised me. You're only trailing by 1 point, and I'm sure that's why Jim Hart threw that ball away, because you certainly are within field goal range for Jim Bakken. Now, running plays would force the Rams to use up their timeout, and also might give you a bit of an opportunity to get back within an even better field goal range. So let's see what the Cardinals do.
Cardinals come out, 2nd and 10 at the Ram 22. Slot left, Harris to the slot, Tilley wide to the left side. Backs are offset strong left. Hart gives on the draw to Jones at the 20, at the 15. Jones down to the 10, searching for the out of bounds, and goes out at the 8-yard line. And it's a first down and goal to go for the Cardinals at the Ram 8-yard line with the clock still running. They say he didn't get out of bounds. The clock is down inside 30 seconds to 28 seconds. And it's all going to be on number 25 at the 8-yard line. They let it run down to 20. Down to 19. Continues to run. First and goal at the Ram 8. 15 seconds. Jim Hart walks out, talks to the official, looks at the clock. 10 seconds showing. 8 seconds at the 8-yard line. And now he calls for a timeout. 7 seconds showing on the clock. And here comes Jim Bakken. It will be marked at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard field goal try for Jim Bakken to put the Cardinals up by 2. Roger Worley in the hole. The Cardinals trying to win their 8th. It's been an uphill battle all afternoon long. 7 seconds showing on the clock. Bakken marks his spot at the 15 for a 25-yard field goal that could give the Cardinals the lead.
Jim Bakken, 14 out of 20. You know how many times he's done this for the Cardinals. Can he do it again? This is an important one this time.
Tom Brahady in to make the snap. 7 seconds showing. The Cardinals going after number 8. A 25-yard field goal for Jim Bakken. There's set. Worley holding. Snap back. Ball down. The kick is up. It is long, high, and it is good. With 4 seconds going, the Cardinals have taken a 2-point lead. And the Ram players, disgusted. One throws his helmet all the way back toward midfield. The Cardinals will kick off with 4 seconds showing on the clock and a 30-28 lead over the Los Angeles Rams.
Can you believe this? All afternoon, the Rams dominating the ball game. Jim Hart comes out in the second half. How many times have the Cardinals done it in the second half? They came back against the 49ers. They came back against the Eagles. They've done it here again. Jim Hart has come out, and he has been hot as he has ever been hot. And Ike Harris making clutch receptions. Pat Tilley making clutch receptions. They work the ball down into great field goal range. They run the clock out. Now 4 seconds to go. This ball does not go up in the air to the deep returner. You squib it along the ground and force the Rams to go about 60 yards in the air on the final play probably of the ball game.
Well, they may not get a play.
That's better.
The clock will start when the Rams receive it. 4 seconds to go. 30, 28. Cardinals by 2. It would be the Rams' third loss. They're 6-2-1. And it would be the Cardinals' 8th victory. And maintaining pace with Dallas, that plays tomorrow night against Buffalo. Bakken has it teed at the 35. Jarradine and Cullen Bryant back at the 5. Bakken's kick is a low line drive shot taken by a wedge man. Scribner has it at the 25-30. At the 35, 1 second time has run out. Scribner now throws a lateral to the left side. Taken there by Jarradine. He's hit on the sideline. Time has run out, and the Cardinals have won the ball game. The Cardinals have won the ball game. That's the end of the game, and we'll be back to recap today's action here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum, where the final score was the Cardinals 30 and the Rams 28.